Hey there, booty quakers and money makers. My name is Zeke Freak, and I have a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. Joining me today are my usual cohorts Kevin, currently recruiting for his garage band, note, not his garage, and Saradin, morbidly curious about the Ugandan economy. And together, we're gonna commit murder with a fucking boomerang. Welcome to the Baka Gaijin show.
Oh, that one takes me back. Oh, that last part takes me back. Ooh.
Oh, speaking of Uganda, did you see Mr. Beast's most recent video where he goes to South Africa and gives a bunch of less fortunate children their first pair of real shoes
What a
for free?
monster.
Yeah, I know, what a monster.
I can't
That's exactly
believe
what
him.
Twitter is treating it like.
How dare
Twitter's-
he?
Yeah, Twitter's like, he's just faking it so he can make money. And I'm like, how
I
do you
love-
think he
I
gets
love-
the money to do this shit?
I love how that's the argument and not the much more like people have criticized the shoe programs forever because it destabilizes the local it disincentive local business or whatever. I understand that argument, but they're not even making that argument. They just think he's an asshole for giving away shoes.
Yeah, no,
They need
there are people
shoes,
who are so
people.
cynical and joyless in life that they think that any form of philanthropy is only done for selfish reasons. And I'm like, yeah, it sure is a damn shame that people get free shit because rich people want to build their brand. Yeah. Like, even if that was the case, like, I'm fucking for it.
Yeah.
I personally have never seen a Mr. Beast video. I didn't even know what he looked like until recently. I prefer to think of Mr. Beast kind of like how how the Greeks they tell tales of like Poseidon or whatever, but you never know what he looks like.
Yeah.
You kind of hear about him through hearsay and rumor. That's what I like to think of Mr. Beast as, like a modern day deity.
A modern day Greek god. That's a funny. That's a funny thought.
I've watched several of his videos, and like, I appreciate the work that he does.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if anything, the worst thing that he does, or the worst that he does, is he raises awareness for causes that need addressing.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be there to fix the whole problem. He can't possibly.
Well,
do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But he can draw attention to a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
And hopefully other people will become invested in those issues as well. So
Yeah, like Mr. Beast is at the very least using his wealth and his popularity to do good for people, and I can really, really appreciate that.
And yes, of course, he's doing it to grind subscriber numbers and stuff. But I mean, the reason he does that is so he can generate revenue to do bigger projects,
to do more shit like this on a bigger scale.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't see an issue with this, but apparently Twitter is, and a lot of these Twitter files, the Twitter files that are bitching, these couch critics, none of them have ever picked up a ladle at their local soup kitchen.
Yeah, like
none of them have ever donated a single hour or dollar to the less fortunate. But they sit here and whine and bitch about other people more fortunate of them doing the exact same thing. And it's like, the rich should give to the poor. Mr. Beast does exactly, load shotgun with murderous intent. It's like, okay.
Well, no, you don't understand.
Like,
You don't understand.
the
Hating
mentality
on a YouTuber is easy. Voting is hard.
Yeah, I know. The mentality is just completely fucked, because it's like they want people to give away good stuff, but then when that actually happens, they want the more fortunate to give to the less fortunate. But when that actually happens, they hide behind this mask of, oh, they're just doing it to build their brand. I'm like, you can't have it both ways. Like, you can't ask for this and then be cynical and hateful when somebody actually does it. Like,
yeah,
like it's completely defeating your whole point.
If I may offer a nuanced perspective, and I know that's a dirty word these days, but I think people are just mad at systemic issues that go far beyond Mr. Beast. But Mr. Beast is just an easy target.
He's an easy and very visible target. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it is. It's just people bashing an easy target. That's all it is.
But he's getting a marble statue in the pantheons of history, and they're not. So I mean, who's really
exactly?
Oh, I mean, that's always the case. Is like, whenever you see somebody who's good-natured and happy and successful and doing better than they are, there are just always those people who have to try to tear down their history. They have to dig into every aspect of their past, looking for anything to discredit them, because that's how they cope with it. You see it with like, I mean, you see it with constant trends on the seedier parts of the internet.
Yeah.
And even on Twitter, it's just like, oh, this person isn't me, so they can't be better than me. So let's look for reasons they're not better than me, while completely missing all forms of self-reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could be you could be the best fucking person. People will dig up some reason to hate you, you know.
Yeah, no, I like Quagmire's rant against Brian.
Yeah.
When he's like,
Yeah.
you know what's also sickening is your textbook liberal agenda. You want to help? Go pick up a ladle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like, I work at the soup kitchen all the time. Never seen you there. Want to help? Pick up a ladle.
Yeah, that is a very weird moment where Quagmire actually does have the moral high ground.
Yes, this is the poon dog of Family Guy, and he's ripping to shreds the virtue signaling dog, who is an allegory for Seth MacFarlane. So, yes.
Yeah.
I really like the episode where Brian is convinced to the Republican agenda by Rush Limbaugh, which really gets to the core of his character, so much that he doesn't want to help so much as he wants the satisfaction of being right about something.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of explores his shallowness in a way, because he's so easily swayed by Rush Limbaugh for an episode.
Yep.
Well, the whole point about Brian is that he is a, for as many pokes at, like, Republicans that show does, Brian is the textbook, I'm here every episode poke at the textbook liberal agenda as well, which I find very funny.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's amazing what Twitter will be angry at these days. It's fucking hilarious.
I'm just really enamored with the idea of future historians uncovering a bronze bust of Mr. Beast and going, this must have been some sort of deity.
Right. Future archaeologists uncover the ruins of Los Angeles after a massive volcanic eruption or earthquake decimates the entire state, making it a no habit zone for 50 years. They come back there, and they're like, oh, there was this bust of Mr. Beast. He must have been the primitive Californian's god or something.
Yeah.
the primitive Californians.
Gods. I mean, Californians are primitive. Let's be honest here, but whatever.
I like the they'd be like, well, he had to have been the most important. He had a candy bar named after him. You don't just get a candy bar named after you.
He had his own candy. He had his own burgers. What?
Kevin, if you had your own candy bar, what would it be like?
Sorry, I saw something on Twitter. I have to retweet this.
Okay.
I'm not gonna retweet it actually, but because you never know who's watching.
Right. Yeah.
Kevin, answer the question. If you had your own candy bar, what would it entail? What would you bring to the candy bar space?
I mean, that's the problem, because, like, I'm not entirely sure. There are so many candy bars out there of, like, different, like, that's just not something I've ever, like, thought about.
You know what I've thought about this, and I have a lot of ideas, but one of my ideas that I don't think is currently being done on the market, at least not in the wide scale, is I want to bring, like, the Fluffernutter experience to a candy bar somehow, like a chocolate covered Fluffernutter situation.
So there is a marshmallow candy bar. I forget what it's called, but it doesn't have peanut butter in it. So that would be what you added to it.
That would be that's a great idea.
I forget what it's called. I guess the closest thing would be like those chocolate covered marshmallow cups that like Cadbury makes.
Yeah.
But like you add peanut butter to it, so that's cool. I
forget what they're called. I saw them in an Adam Ragusa video once, but there's like a company in Georgia that makes like nougat bars covered in nuts. I've always wanted to try one of those.
Yeah, the best. Yeah, the closest I can think of is like Abba's Abbas, but like that's not really. It's like
that is, or how to spell it.
It's like a sweet taffy with peanut butter in the middle. It's really good. It's really good.
How do you spell that?
Abbazaba.
Abbazaba. Okay. Abazaba. I've never seen this before in my life.
I fucking love.
Is that what happens when like? Is that what happened when what's his face? Bill Cosby sneezes.
You know what's funny is that I have never seen I've never heard Abba Zaba. I've never seen this, admittedly very 70s looking rapper. But I feel like I have seen the actual candy before somewhere. There might be other brands that like do a similar thing.
Possibly, but no,
Potentially.
Abba Zabbas are like one of my favorite candy bars. Those are great. I love them.
Is this a southern thing? I've never seen this before.
Southern and West Coast. Southern and West Coast.
Oh, I see. Well, I've never been there.
Yeah.
So
I can probably like you can order them online. They're worth it. They're really nice.
right.
Taste amazing, and they're especially good after you freeze them. Because then it gets all brittle and cracks apart, and it's really fun.
For some reason, Google is offering. When I was you know how when you search something on Google that's like a product, it'll be like sponsored shop Abba Zaba, and
Oh,
it'll show you other recommended products. It is showing me what looks like a cough syrup from Germany called Negroes.
Oh God.
I'm not making this Negro cough syrup.
No. I believe you. That's.
I'm gonna post this in Lobby chat.
Yeah, you wanna rename that there, guys.
Negro cough drops.
God, reminds me of the fucking
I'm assuming they're cough drops and not candy because they're in the health and beauty section.
yeah, reminds me of the fucking appetite suppressant AIDS.
Oh, right.
Yep. I got thinner with the aid of AIDS, among a few other things.
Yeah. I'm also looking at a line of German or Hungarian soaps and body washes, a brand called Baba, which I'm assuming was named after the noise babies make when you put it on them.
Baba.
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 Commercials had a weird fixation with showing babies in bathtubs for a long time.
They did, and a lot of it was like ones that were like very like, of course, the ones that were like based around like soaps and lotions and shit. But like, yeah, I noticed that for a hot minute in the like mostly like late 90s to like the mid 2010s, that was very common.
Yeah. Yeah. You never saw more babies on TV than you did in that time.
You really did, yeah.
Yeah. I think about that sometimes, because, like, unless you, like, know people who are having babies, you don't see babies very often, unless it's, like, on TV. They're very good at hiding.
Yep.
Or being hidden,
I think part of the issue is just, I think a very large part of it is just the increase in restrictions for child actors, especially for baby actors, because baby actors, quote unquote baby actors,
yeah,
weird name, but it's officially a term. Can only work, quote unquote work.
They can only sit in a bathtub
for like an hour a day. That's it.
Yeah. Not conducive to the hustle and bustle of whatever the fuck we have going on.
Yeah, that's actually the entire reason why Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were so popular early on, is because
all three of them?
That's two people.
It's Mary, Kate, and Ashley.
No, it's Mary-Kate, Mary-Kate, and Ashley.
That's not a thing. Have you ever seen someone named that?
Yeah, Mary-Kate Olsen.
Yeah, Mary-Kate Olsen.
Who fucking hyphenates a first
Have
name?
you never heard of a hyphenated first name?
No, you hyphenate last name.
Mary Jane. Mary Jane Watson, the famous Spider-Man character?
Have a hyphen in it. It's just Mary Jane.
Right. Neither does Mary-Kate. It's Mary-Kate Olsen and Ashley Olsen.
You just said it was hyphenated.
Mary-Kate.
I don't know what it actually spelled like, but it's like you haven't heard of double first names.
I don't approve of this concept. I don't approve of
You don't have to approve of it. It's a standard now.
I don't believe in it. I've never met someone like that. Never seen
Good
it.
lord, man.
This get a load of this dude over here. Picks the strangest hills.
Next thing you know,
Anyway, what about
Agnes.
your imaginary triplets?
Next thing you know, he's going to start saying Agnes is an attractive name.
It is not an attractive
It is not. No.
You're right, it's not.
No.
Fuck.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if
I'm
you
so
name
sorry.
if you named a child that, you deserve to be cattle prodded. Anyway, Kevin, go on about your imaginary triplets or whatever.
I'm moving on from that. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Thanks.
Let's talk about baby actors more. What the fuck?
Anyway, yeah, that's why those two were very popular during the 90s, is because, if we can literally just swap out the actress if one hits the fucking limit of how long she can work per day.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
A very common strategy employed by a lot of things with a lot of kids or whatever, or especially babies. Like Sonny Baudelaire is always in both the film and the Netflix series was always played.
Wasn't
by
there
twins.
wasn't like back in the late 90s, early 2000s when porn was starting to really take off? Because finally we had bandwidth capable of like producing, like being able to show videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Wasn't there like a pair of porn star twins? They were sisters or something. They looked exactly the same. They did literally the exact same thing, where sometimes they would both appear, but occasionally it would just be one of them, and like they would swap out a twin when one of them got tired from filming all day. I was like, even in the porn industry, this is used.
Yeah, oddly, twins are actually a pretty good. When you think about it, twins are a pretty good thing to use in porn for that reason.
Well, now I have. Well, yeah, and then it also obviously appeals to the I get to have sex with you and your sister kind of fantasy.
It does, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like, this is. What is this conversation we're having?
I don't know. Welcome to the Baka Gaijin show. We talk about weird shit.
We went from candy to Negroes to babies to naming conventions that don't exist in the real world, and now we're here.
I love it. It's great.
Yep. That's what people come here for. That's what we come here for.
And all in the span of 17 minutes. Ain't it great?
I like our energy right now.
Yeah.
This is good. Yeah. I think it's time for Kevin to ruin it by telling us what he's been doing lately.
Oh, come on. You know it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'll probably derail you at some point.
Of course you will.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's been like, what, 2-ish weeks since we've done like a proper full episode?
No, you can't say it like that, Kevin. You gotta be like, it's been a while.
It's been a while
since I seen your face.
But no, yeah, it's been a hot minute, so, yeah, I've been doing some stuff.
This is the struggle when we haven't done it in a while, is not that there isn't things we've done to talk about, but that it's kind of hard to remember what you might have mentioned before. But
yeah, where do we start? Fuck.
Yeah.
There were some movies that we watched in the server, and that was good. We finally...
Yeah.
Finally, we watched Sex Drive Unrated Edition. Unrated and cream fed, apparently.
That was one of the movies of all time. Good lord.
It's an experience. I recommend everyone gather around with their friends and watch Sex Drive Unlimited, Unrated and cream filled.
Sex Drive Unlimited.
That's the sequel that they haven't made yet, obviously.
No. Oh yeah, no. What they gotta do is they gotta do like a Zombieland 2 situation where they bring everyone back a decade later at random.
It's very weird because like that is so there are a lot of movies where people are like, oh, they just don't make them like this like this anymore. You can't make a movie like this anymore, and it's like for the most mundane shit. But no, you literally could not make Sex Drive today. The first 20 minutes is basically just all the most offensive ways of asking if someone sucks cock. It's really bad.
But they tied it into Rex's internalized homophobia arc.
They did, which is the weirdest part. I mean, that's not the weirdest part of the movie. I mean, Seth Green is right there as an Amish technician.
It's great. I actually really like it.
God, it's so funny. I find it hilarious that the movie starts with like the writer and the director being like, "Don't watch this version first, because it's not the real movie. Watch the real movie first." And like after I watched the unrated version, I'm like, do I really need to see the original? Because like this is
my whole argument with that is that if you don't like the unrated edition, nothing in the theatrical cut is gonna make you like it more. It might be better paced, but like aside from that, like the content.
Also, are you really watching a movie called Sex Drive? To appreciate its artistic merits as a well-paced film. Like, no.
Yeah, if you're committing to watching a film called Sex Drive, just go all the way with it.
Exactly. Pick the one with more boobs and dick in it.
Yeah.
And
Kevin never believed me when I told him that sometimes they just green screen in naked women walking across the frame at random. Yeah.
It's
That's great.
Every 20 minutes it just happens.
Yeah, I first saw this film way back when. Remember that magical period, a little bit like a year or two after Netflix started streaming, where they had literally everything.
Yep, I remember.
Fucking everything. That's when I first saw Sex Drive unrated and cream filled, and I'm like, it always stuck with me.
The funny thing is, this came right after we watched Princess Mononoke, so that was a hell of a switch.
Well, it was actually really funny because we barely missed it when we landed on Princess Mononoke.
We did!
We missed it by like a hair, and then we got it in the next run. So that was fun. We were destined to watch Sex Drive unrated and cream filled.
Yep. But yeah, that got Sex Drive's a fun movie. Also, as mentioned, rewatched Princess Mononoke. Zeke finally saw it for the first time.
Yeah,
I really like it. I think it's fantastic. I love that movie. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's no Max Keeble, but it's pretty good.
Well, of course, nothing can quite match the sheer cinematic brilliance of Max Keeble. You have to understand this, clearly.
This is true.
Yeah. It's peak cinema. It's peak cinema.
No, really. I don't even know why they bothered making movies after that.
We peaked. Started watching the Rocky movies. Rocky 1, better than I recall, because, like, I first watched the original Rocky in high school, and that, mind you, that was during a period where I was just, like, renting whatever I could find at the library and just watching it after school and whatever. I watched so many movies and so much anime in that short period of time, just doing that for like a year. But yeah, rewatched the first Rocky. Very good movie. Gonna watch Rocky 2 soon. Because like I want to watch the Creed movies, but I gotta build up to it, you know.
Yeah. You gotta understand the Rocky cinematic universe.
You gotta understand Rocky lore, man.
Yeah.
You gotta understand Rocky lore. I have heard so many good things about Creed 3.
Mm-hmm.
So many good things about Creed 3.
I've heard some mixed things about it. And I mean, I've never heard anything negative about it. Let me put it that way first.
Well, yeah.
I've not heard anything negative about it. I just have heard some mixed things. Some people say that the movie would have benefited a little bit more from from a better fight scene at the end.
Maybe.
And I think because the last fight scene is a little bit anemic. But then it could have also benefited from some better motivation from the main character, but otherwise it's a perfectly competent film.
My favorite, my only contribution to this conversation and my favorite thing about Creed 3 is the fact the logo does the same thing with the red stripes that Unreal Tournament 3's logo did, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, sweet Unreal Tournament 3 reference, bro.
Love that everyone's just like realizing, oh, when Michael B. Jordan recommended a bunch of shonen anime as like a beginner thing, oh, he was hiding his power level.
Michael B. Jordan's always been a big otaku, mostly for shonen stuff, but like he based a lot of the workout routine. He had a lot of creative input in Creed 2. Yeah. He based a lot of the workout routines from the montage that every Rocky film has on like Goku's workout stuff from Dragon Ball Z.
Look, I respect Michael B. Jordan. I respect him a lot, but every time this gets brought up, I have to bring up my man, The Weeknd.
Oh God,
because
yes.
Holy fucking like, I'm not impressed. Like Michael B. Jordan, I'm sorry, I'm not impressed when it comes to hiding your power level. there's no one that tops The Weeknd. Okay, no one as famous as The Weeknd should know what Koisaku Miyaku ni Ai no Yakusoko Ai Anafiara is. Okay, no one that famous should know what that is, let alone have merch from it. That picture of The Weeknd standing in front of all of his eroge posters is one of my favorite images in the world.
Yeah, you posted that image. I'm like, God damn, this man. Oh God.
That might be I might make it the thumbnail, actually, just because I love sharing this image.
It's a good image. It's a really good image.
I'll post it in lobby chat.
Oh no, you posted it on Twitter, so like I can just like bring it over from there.
No, I already posted it in lobby chat.
Okay.
Yeah. No, nobody on Earth has hit their power level like The Weeknd.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Every time he shows it a little bit, it's like, oh shit, this dude, he's deep into this, isn't he?
Yeah, this dude a fucking nerd.
Yep.
He's also a great singer. I really like The Weeknd.
Oh yeah.
When I heard him in the end credits of Avatar 2, I was like, that's the fucking Weeknd!
That's The Weeknd!
That's the freaking Weeknd!
Yeah, playing more Overwatch 2.
Yes.
I'm gonna do more of that later tonight so that I can continue my
Well, it is double XP weekend.
Oh, fucking nice. Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, based.
Yep. God, remember when I got play of the game like a couple days ago and it was the most underwhelming play of the game imaginable.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
I got 1 kill and a bunch of assists. Like, honestly, you should have gotten that, not me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, that was a funny one because you could see me in the background doing all the important things.
Just all the work. But, like, no, the game was like, nah, Kevin gets it this time. Like, come on. That's like
my favorite classic genre of play of the game is when Torbjorn gets play of the game, but it's for shit his turret did. So you just see him doing nothing, and the kill feed is lighting up a bunch of kills off screen.
Yep.
They should make specific play of the game intros specifically for the turret, honestly.
Play of the game goes to Torbjorn's turret.
The turret. I mean, why not?
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm gonna play more of that later. Apparently, like, it's not gonna be something I'm gonna do for a couple of months since I want it to settle a little bit. But apparently, Halo Infinite Season 3 is good, so we'll see.
He needs time to get over his trauma.
It's not so much trauma so much as it is just soul-crushing mediocrity.
Sure.
But, no, I've heard good things about that. Okay, I've stalled long enough. It's time to talk about magical girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the bathroom. You go.
No, come back, no.
Nope, you talk about it.
Well, it's not like Mike's gonna say anything either. Jeez.
You're right, I'm fucking not.
God. We're supposed to be having a show here. Supposed to be having a whole
You
ass
decided
thing
to
here.
derail it with shit nobody fucking cares about. So
it's what I've been doing. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure all 7 people who like that genre still in the year of our Lord 2023.
Okay, that's okay. That's a bit much. That's a bit much. Come on.
It's not though. It's not. It's fun jazz.
It's really no.
Okay, fine. Be sensitive about it. I'm just kidding anyway.
I know. I mean, I'm not upset.
I'm kidding. Jeez Lord.
I'm not upset.
Act like you were upset. You acted like you were upset. You acted like you were upset.
I'm just talking.
Yeah, No, you're trying.
He's gonna come back and I still haven't talked about it.
I'm doing him a fucking service right now. Isn't it great?
Oh, I'm back. Is he done yet?
Nope, he hasn't even started because I've been bitching at him. So it's whatever.
I half expected that.
You can't escape it, man. You can't. I won't talk about it for too long. I swear to God, I won't. But yep. With the new season of Pretty Cure being surprisingly much better than the last few, I've gotten into a mood. So rewatched Heartcatch, which Still one of my favorite fucking anime. Like, just that show is fantastic the entire way through. I love it.
Yeah.
Last 5 episodes are fucking peak. Holy shit. A magical girl anime has no right to go that hard. It's like, yeah, this is made for little girls. Who wants planetary destruction? It's great.
But I live on a planet.
I know, right? No, we rewatched all of Heartcatch in like the span of a week, and that was so good. Love that show. Picked up another season, Go Princess Pretty Cure, which apparently that one's really good, and also scared little kids so badly that they removed all of the action from the next season. Don't worry, they put it back in the season afterwards.
But did it scare you? That's my question.
No, dude, the action scenes in Go Princess so far like go amazingly hard. There's like one monster that's like fucking soccer based, and one of the characters literally surfs on a red card, jumps off of it, and then flings herself off of a couple of yellow cards that were like thrown out as projectiles to kick the monster in the face. It's fucking great. I love it. Pretty Cure fight scenes can go hard, man. And of course, the new season of Pretty Cure is really good. Need to watch the two most recent episodes of Nagatoro. Kind of fell behind on that.
Wow, I'm ahead of you on that. Wow, crazy.
Not after today, you won't be.
Oh no.
I will catch up, I swear. But no, yeah. I'm a little behind on Onimai as well. Just dragging behind on that.
Dragging these nuts.
Though I've heard the last couple episodes of Onimai have been really, really good. Onimai in general is just a lot of fun. Very cute.
Kevin, I have a weird news story update that I just saw right now.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
So, it's a double whammy here because you know the classic Wii game, The Conduit.
Oh no, yeah, I do remember.
I was not aware that they made an HD version, Conduit HD for Android, which has now been homebrew ported to Vita by the Flow.
What the fuck? Really? They made an HD version of that?
Yeah, on mobile. There was a mobile port of the Conduit called Conduit HD, and that's been ported to Vita by the Flow now. So congratulations, you can now play The Conduit on Vita. What a crazy time we live in.
Weird, that's the only way that you can play it with dual analog support now. Huh.
I don't know if it has. I would
Maybe.
imagine Flow would probably go the extra mile for that.
Yeah.
If I'm continually impressed by the efforts of the Flow and Rene Matagate. If there is a game on Android, it is probably getting homebrew ported to Vita at some point.
Yep.
Just impressive.
Yep. Android games are apparently very easy to port to Vita. It's great.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Outside of that, no, honestly, it's just been like mostly just watching Magical Girl anime, and because these shows are long, it takes up a lot of my time. That's really most of it.
Yeah.
It's not so much it's not so much like a bunch of little things I've been doing. It's more so just a handful of really big things.
Makes sense.
Yep. Hopefully, Mike has more to talk about, though. What you been doing, buddy?
Pondering my my value and worth in society.
Boring.
Emotional damage.
He's fine, and we swear.
Nobody watches the show anyway, so I feel like I'm safe. That's the worst thing to say, right?
Come on.
But like,
Yeah.
nobody watches the show anyway, so I feel like I'm safe to say this here.
Sure.
I had kind of an interesting. I had a very interesting thing happen to me. I think this was last week. Yeah, it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody who's talked to me for more than 20 minutes probably knows that I constantly talk about some pretty serious mistakes I made a while ago with a relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, that since I have corrected, thanks to some people's help, but some people have been essentially constantly monitoring me and making sure that I don't, fall into the same trap again, which isn't the issue. This isn't a pathology of mine. It was just a mistake made under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
But they seem to have this
I
idea
mean,
that
you
it's
don't
a
have to justify it to
pathology.
us. We know.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I have to justify it to the viewers so they can understand, all
Yeah.
6 of them.
Sure.
But essentially, they're under the impression that these people are under the impression that I have some kind of pathology, that they need to constantly keep me under watch for, and it's just, they've never bothered to hear me out, but they monitor everything I do and say, on social media and stuff, looking for essentially any noose to hang me by. And it's made me interacting in this fan group in general quite difficult, and just kind of stressful, and it kind of just sucks a lot of the joy out of it. And there was a point where I was trying to do a fan project for I was trying to, do this fan project a couple of weeks ago, and I tried to, have somebody spread the fact that I was doing that on the official Discord, which I have been banned from, and they tried for me, God bless them, but the moderators denied the post, claiming that it was part of their part of rules and guidelines. Well, first of all, it's not. I know what the rules and guidelines are. It's nothing to do with it. So it was an arbitrary decision. It kind of hit me hard, and it kind of just like the last fucking straw, right? I was like, you're not going to give me any opportunity to defend or explain myself. You're not going to listen to anything I or the other people involved say about it. You're going to continue judging me and then barring all access I have to try to do good and redeeming things in this community. It fucking sucks, and I'm tired of it. So I made a post on Twitter, essentially saying at the end of my Japan trip, which is coming up very soon, in a couple of days actually, that I would be leaving the fan group. I explained that I had been essentially, I'm essentially not being allowed to express myself and redeem myself in any way that they do not explicitly see fit. That it's created a lot of stress for me, and that it's sucking all the joy out of it, et cetera, et cetera. And I no longer wish to kind of participate anymore just because it's too painful. Obviously I still enjoy the content, Kiara herself, I still enjoy her, I still very much enjoy her content. But I felt like the best way to do it is to just wash my hands of it entirely. Because to remove the temptation to come back and just subject myself to more of it. A lot of people tried to encourage me to stay. They said, dude, you're having fun here. We see it. I don't think there's a reason to leave. You have plenty of people who are supporting you.
Yeah.
Who are here for you. This is a welcoming community. And even if some of the people won't hear you out, the rest of us have. A lot of people, I've spoken to a lot of people about what I've done, and their general opinion is, yep, that was dumb, but you seem like you're not the kind of person who would be a repeat offender on that kind of thing, so we don't give a shit. But all of that said, it was still difficult for me to justify staying. So I was in probably 20 conversations online at the exact same time, in DMs on Twitter, trying to talk to these people and give them the reasons why I'm choosing to leave, and listening and hearing them out and everything, and thanking them for their support and everything. But the thing that completely changed my mind in the end was a DM I got a few hours later when I was finally home from work. And apparently she found it. She found that tweet. I didn't use any of the tags. And I tried to keep it down low, but somehow she found that and essentially messaged me. And basically, long story short, she said, I saw some stuff saying that, like, I don't need you here. But that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I need everyone here. I don't know what's going on, but I hope it works itself out and you start feeling better, and I hope you choose to stay. So that was kind of a shock.
Gives you a bit of
I
a
wish I
moment
had
of pause, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it like I remember I was in VC.
You were
with
talking to
Kevin
me,
when
yeah.
that happened, and I was literally like, what the fuck?
Disbelief.
Like, yeah, just complete disbelief and shock. But yeah, I have at some point I'll probably take a short break. There's too much landmark shit happening right now.
Yeah.
For me to justify taking a break, but at some point when things are a little less hype than they are right now, I'm probably going to still take a break to process a lot of this shit. But it's just amazing to me that she stepped up to actually reach out to one of her millions of fans to offer them a little bit of encouragement and well wishes, and to basically reinforce the fact that no, I do care about all of you. Don't let this, like, destroy the fun that you're having here.
Yeah.
And stick around because I appreciate what you do and I want you to stay. Was essentially the vibe she gave me.
Yeah.
So pretty incredible stuff. So that was kind of a whirlwind, and it took me at least a couple of days to process that shit. But in the end, I am deciding to stay. I just might need to take a break later for general emotional processing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
If an old friend of mine were here, she'd probably say something to the extent of, "Oh my god, a woman talked to me." They make fun of me for that, but it's not. Yeah, it is what it is. But it was still it was a pretty cool experience. But not to get the Debbie Downer stuff out of the way first, which is what I want to do. Let's move on to something a little bit more fun.
Okay.
Which is I am going to be leaving for Japan in 3 days. Tuesday I will be leaving for Japan.
Oh, Tuesday night. Okay.
Yeah, Tuesday morning.
Tuesday
morning.
Okay.
I have to get up at 5:30, head to Cincinnati, where my mom's going to drop me off, and my flight is at 9.
Okay.
Then I have a layover of 2 hours, I think, somewhere. I forget exactly where. And then it's like a 5-hour flight, and then an 11-hour flight. And then I'll land in Tokyo. And I'll be there for...
Please don't.
Don't. I'll kill you. I'll kill a bitch. I'll kill the bitch for less.
God.
But no, yeah, so I will be heading out on Tuesday morning to go to Japan. I have got a shit ton of stuff planned.
Nice.
For that trip. So far the things that are absolutely nailed in are I'm going to be visiting a Final Fantasy themed cafe on Friday, excuse me. Thursday I'm looking at traveling, or Thursday I'm looking at just like hanging out with a few people, maybe going to a game store, checking out Akiba. Friday is I'm going to a fan meetup, Final Fantasy Cafe, and then Saturday and Sunday in the evenings in Akiba are going to be watch-alongs of the big concert I'm going to, the Fourth Fest concert. And then on Monday, me and a bunch of guys are going to, and ladies are to Enoshima, which is an island kind of close to Tokyo. You got to take a train there, but they've got everything from shrines to caves to beachfronts to nice restaurants and stuff. Beautiful location. So we're gonna go make a pilgrimage there. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to be checking out Tuesday or Wednesday. We're going to be probably Tuesday. We're going to check out the cherry blossom viewing areas in Tokyo, because that is literally the start of the peak season for cherry blossoms.
Okay.
Which is a terrible time to be a tourist in Japan, by the way. If it wasn't for the concert being here, I would have picked any other time of year to go to Japan, because cherry blossom season is utterly bumfucked with tourists, especially now that the borders have been open. So it's going to be tight in those streets.
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, Thursday or that's on Tuesday, I'm going to be doing cherry blossoms. On Wednesday, I'm going to do some miscellaneous stuff. Go play pachinko. Go to do some bar hopping or whatever. And then on Thursday, I'm going to Nagashima Spa Land, which is home of the world's longest steel roller coaster, Steel Dragon 2000.
Ooh, yes.
So we're gonna hang out the last day at an amusement park, and then I will be coming home. Do I come home Thursday or do I come home Friday? Hang on, let me check my calendar. Sorry. So yeah, Wednesday is Cherry Blossoms, Thursday is the amusement park, and I leave on Friday.
Okay.
And then I have Saturday off. Well, I have the weekend off after that because I don't ever work the weekend.
Yeah.
I will be able to rest off the jet lag and recuperate. So, but yeah, that's what I've got planned so far. So it's fun, and then any other time of the day, it's going to be completely up in the air. Like people want to meet up and stuff and hang out, do whatever. So I'm gonna have a good time. I tried to go to the Olympics in 2020, but obviously COVID fucked that in the butt.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then when the Olympics were moved to the next year, I wanted to go again, but then borders still shut down, and they also made the Olympics basically staff only, staff and competitors only, no nothing but MTV crews. Like they televised it, but there was no there were no spectators allowed in the audience due to COVID. So thank God I can still I have a good reason to come back this year. So, but lots of cool stuff. I'll be taking lots of photos. Find them on my Twitter in a couple of weeks when I'm back. I might post some in the meantime. I've got that. What's anime I haven't watched any in so long? No, I'm just kidding. The last thing I watched was Chainsaw Man. Honestly, that was the last show I really got into. And I've got a bunch of them that I've heard are very good, but I've consumed so much of them through cultural osmosis that I've gotten the gist of them. Like I've heard Bocchi the Rock is excellent, but like I already know what it's about.
I mean,
people talk about it.
I mean, just because you know it's about doesn't mean you've really.
I mean,
had,
I get
like,
it, but it's
full
just like
experience.
I get it, and it's like, but I feel like now that subtext has been spoiled to me, it makes the show a lot less interesting to me. Not because of the subtext isn't interesting, it's just because like I feel like discovering the more intricate nature of it is part of the experience, and now that people have talked about it, it's just like, okay, I know it's coming, so it just lessens the experience for me. That's just kind of how, dude. You have to also remember, I've probably watched more.
No. I'm just trying to understand that because, like, that is like, I guess I can understand in terms of like plot spoilers or whatever. But if it's like the very premise of the show, I'm like, I'm a little confused by that, honestly.
Well, you can disagree with it. That's just how my brain works.
I don't know if I agree or disagree. I just don't know.
I'm just letting you know that's how it goes with me.
Reminds me of how Stephen King hates outlining, because if he writes an outline, he feels like he's already written the story and he can't bring himself to actually, write the story.
Right.
I have the same issue, honestly.
I don't. I find myself as an in-between. I honestly think for most people what works best is probably the in-between of Orson Scott Card's I must meticulously outline every single detail, and Stephen King's I have to wing it. Somewhere in the middle is where most people land. That's where I land. I outline shit that would be complicated and hard to keep track of, but other than that, I usually only have very general outlines.
Yeah. Writing is weird.
Sure.
Writing is a very difficult process, and not everybody does it, and most people don't actually. So
yeah, everybody's got a different process. I once heard of a guy who his process was going out to the mountains and narrating his ideas to himself via tape recorder and then like transcribing that later. Okay. That sounds pretty inefficient to me personally.
Yeah,
but if it works, if it's what keeps you motivated.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It just sounds very inconvenient.
Maybe he likes mountains more than you do. You ever think about that?
I mean, clearly he does, if that's the only way he can really write.
Yeah. Mountains.
It's not really so much of a you ever think about that. It's literally just how else are you supposed to read into that?
I think you're just jealous of his love of mountains, personally.
Why would I be? That doesn't make any sense.
Have you ever been to a mountain, Kevin?
Yes, actually.
That'll make no sense.
Oh, really? Which mountain?
Make no sense.
I don't. God. I've been on like
You
mountain
can't
hiking
even
trails and
can't
shit.
even fucking answer a basic question. Which mountain? I guess it was a very memorable experience for him.
I remember the Grand Canyon a lot more.
That's not a mountain.
I know.
Ugh, I don't think that was his point.
It
Anyway,
wasn't.
Japan, cool.
It's like the opposite
Yes,
of a
there's lots of
mountain.
things I wish I was also
I know
doing.
exactly. It's
Anyway,
it's-
Japan,
the
cool.
more-
I'm going. You're not. Suffer. Envy me. Please witness me. That is all I want.
I'll envy you a little.
But I think. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Should be a blast. I'm going to have lots of cool people to meet with. And I wish I was going for a bit longer. Stuff like going on a hiking trip. Or something.
Through the mountains.
Yeah, through like the mountains.
Yeah.
Or going to see like some of the more remote shrines like Shishifukujin. Not Shishifukujin. What's its name? I forget. There's like some more remote shrines out there. I'd like to go to Hokkaido.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to Osaka.
Would
But I'm
you
just
like
not
to go to
gonna
Okinawa?
I actually don't have much of an interest in Okinawa. Mostly because I'm white and American. Like it's not like most of the people who live in the Okinawa are cool, but if you run into anybody who's World War II age, they kind of fucking hate us.
Just wait another 2 years, or not 2. I meant 10, but
Yeah.
actually 2, maybe. Wait a few years.
But it is what it is.
It's not long now. All the World War II vets are dying. It's not going to be long.
I have been personally recommended. I have been personally recommended by someone who knows Japan very well to go to Don Quixote because apparently it's a fucking experience.
Oh yes.
Yeah, apparently that is a fucking experience, unlike any other.
I really love that there's just a convenience store named after the windmill guy. It's great.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yep.
Somebody
read that bit of classic literature.
I gotta go.
Like,
I gotta go buy some.
I should name my department store after this.
I gotta go buy some cock grease from them. So
Yes.
it's extra firm, by the way, extra firm cock grease.
Don Quixote is very useful if you, for instance, need to sort of red paper clip your way and trade various items to complete a subquest. Pretty useful for that.
Naruhodo. I will keep that.
That was just for all the Yakuza fans out there. The games, not the real. Not
Yeah. Oh, don't you know it's called Like a Dragon now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, the West won again.
Yeah, it turns out that. Well, no, in this case it was Japan that won.
I am literally referencing a tweet where someone said that unironically, and I thought it was funny.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god! Wow.
It's Boku no Hero Academia, Kevin.
Oh,
you should know that.
No, yeah, I find it very interesting.
Don't watch an anime called Boku. Don't watch an anime called Boku. Anyway.
But no, yeah, I find it interesting how when what was it, like Yakuza 7 came out?
Speaking of MHA, has anybody kept up with the show? Because I dropped it after last season.
No.
I'm just entirely at this point. I'm just entirely fatigued by the fact that they're just clearly gonna endlessly add more characters to fill in time.
I keep up with the manga, but I've been disappointed with where the manga goes, so I haven't watched season 6, and I don't really plan to unless I hear they've changed things massively, which it doesn't seem like they have any inclination to. So yeah, I've ranted about the direction MHA went before. I don't feel like getting into it again.
Yeah, it's a whole long sordid affair. But no, yeah, in regards to Yakuza, I find it interesting how when Yakuza 7 was localized as Yakuza Like a Dragon, people thought it was like... People just kind of brushed it off, assuming, oh, it's a fun little reference to the original Japanese title, Ryuga Gotoku. But then the Ishin remake is called Like a Dragon Ishin, and now everyone realizes, oh no, that's just the name now.
Rebrand.
Oh, that was a soft rebrand, okay.
Yeah, very funny. It's like if that's very interesting. It's like if they all of a sudden started calling them Biohazard games here again. Be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, because like everyone just assumed it was like a Resident Evil Biohazard thing, but no, it was their way of like stealth renaming the series outside Japan.
Interesting.
Yep,
Interesting.
yep. It's very, very weird. But, I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, at the very least, people know what Like a Dragon is supposed to refer to now, so...
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I always like the name Yakuza, so I'm a little...
It's a lot snappier. It just sounds better, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, like a Dragon just sounds very... Like, in English, it sounds very, like, kind of generic and doesn't really have the same flair to it.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, it's like halfway to Testament of My Sister New Devil sort of energy.
Just about.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that all you've been up to, Sardan, or...?
I mean, pretty much.
Alright.
It's my turn!
Excellent.
I think I didn't say this in the podcast. I beat the Dead Space remake. It was great. I can't wait to go through it again, New Game Plus at some point. Unlock more things. And I told myself I was going to go back to Atomic Heart, and I played a little bit of it. I just haven't been in, like, the mood for it. So
Yeah.
I've mostly been playing a lot of Overwatch, and then, I played some Mario Kart when Wave 4 came out. Now I'm in more of a watchy mood. Last night I started watching, I put it on hold after, like, episode 4. I don't know why, I guess I wasn't in the mood at the time, but I've been watching, Kimetsu no Yaiba Season 2. Because the Season 3 is next season. So, I'm just finishing that up now. I didn't rewatch it from the start or anything. All I did was just rewatch the last episode I remember watching just for context, and then I just went forward from there. I don't need to be the 10 billionth person to say this, but production go burr.
Really?
Oh,
nice.
yeah, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
undoubtedly.
Production go burr. So yeah, I'm just
I
you know.
adored that season. That was a very good season.
that and writing and YouTube and stuff. Other than that, not really much to talk about. I did want to talk about the format and schedule of the show real quick, because we did say
Yes.
we said we were going bi-weekly and we were going to do novelty hour in between, and then we ran into a technical problem where some of the community mods I wanted to use have been broken, and I'm waiting for them to be fixed. So at some point we're doing that. As of right now, I think we're just gonna do it if we're able to. The podcast, I mean. I'm not gonna commit to the bi-weekly idea until we can actually get Novelty Hour off the ground again. So whenever we're all here, we'll do it. And if we're not all here, we'll do some sort of supplemental thing like we have been doing. So that's your update on that.
I am looking forward to bringing back Novelty Hour, because I love that format. I'm glad that we have the ability to do that again.
Yeah, much easier. So we'll have more news on that when appropriate. But now it's email time.
It is.
We have an email from Cube the Third, friend of the show.
Yay!
If you want to be like him, you can also email us at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com. Anyway, he says, "Hello, Bethesda Game Studios. Where Elder Scrolls 6 Fallout 5? We wish we knew. Anyway, hello BGS. Today I've come some new topics and questions. Recently I came across this articles about zoomies and tech. I thought you'll find it amusing, considering that you, Zeke, that's me, have encountered zoomies who can't operate Explorer.exe, and what phone app did you use questions, though to be fair, printers are bastard machines. No matter which generation you fall under, that's all for now." And he links here to a PC Gamer article titled "Young Workers Don't Know How to Use Office Printers, Scanners, Ancient Desktop PCs."
Oh no. Oh boy.
This comes from PC Gamer by Jody McGregor. "Shockingly, Gen Z employees aren't born knowing how to use a computer." That's shocking to me as well. So I'm just going to read through this.
It's like, you're young, you have all this time, learn it.
Yeah, it's not a long article, so I'll just read it.
Okay.
In Kate Beaton's excellent autobiographical comic Ducks 2 Years in the Oil Sands, there's a moment where an older worker asks for help with his emails. They're all coming out with weird gaps in them, so he turns to Beaton, a tech-savvy young person, for help. She explains the problem. He's been adding breaks by pressing enter at the end of each line because he's used to typewriters and doesn't realize the computer handles line breaks on its own. It's a touching moment of bonding in an otherwise pretty grim story. But it's not the kind of thing that happens in the offices of today, according to a report by The Guardian. In fact, it's sometimes the other way around, with one 25-year-old publicist saying that he turned to older workers who are veterans of the copy room for help.
Yeah.
Things like scanners and copy machines are complicated, Garrett Bemiller said, explaining that his first time using the photocopier in his New York office, quote, "It kept coming out as a blank page. It took me a couple of times to realize I had to place the paper upside down in the machine for it to work." According to a survey of adults aged 18 to 26 by Dell, more than one-third of Gen Z feel their school education did not prepare them with the technology skills needed for their planned careers. 56% received either very basic or no digital skills training. While the popular image of young people is digital natives who all know how technology works, it's a narrow stereotype. A generation who grew up using apps on their phones and owning laptops aren't going to magically know how to use the scanner, printer, or workhorse desktop PC in their office, which is why we end up with posts on sysadmin humor subreddit about having to label the power button. It reminds me of a time while doing work experience in high school I was asked to send a fax, something I'd never done in my life. Okay, to be fair by this person, I don't think I've ever sent a fax in my life either.
Yeah.
When I see a printer, I'm like, "Oh my god," Max Simon, a 29-year-old content creator, told The Guardian. "It seems I'm uncovering an ancient artifact in a way." At 29, Simon is old enough to know more than his younger coworkers, however. I'll invite them to a Google Meet and they'll say, "How do we get a link to that?" But the link is already in the calendar invite. Like, it's 2023. This is the world that we live in. Things that seem pretty straightforward often catch Gen Z off guard. As the millennial went on to say, "It takes 5 seconds to learn how to use TikTok. You don't need an instruction book, like you would with a printer. Content is so easy to access now that when you throw someone a simple curveball, they swing and they miss. That's why Gen Z can't schedule a meeting." We have previously seen college professors say students don't know what files and folders are thanks to the obfuscated file systems of smartphones and Apple devices, as well as the power of modern search bars. And our own Evan Lottie noted that simple keyboard shortcuts broke the brains of his Gen Z coworkers, as those of us who were taught to use word processors at school learned seem to not be part of the curriculum anymore. On a positive note, young employees do have an advantage when it comes to dealing with the office computer, even with its external hardware and unfamiliar interface. Gen Z is very comfortable navigating software they've never used before because they've been doing it their whole lives. Steve Bench, who runs corporate workshops on generational differences, told The Guardian. Corporate workshops on generational differences. Let's just file that one away.
Yeah.
They are used to trial and error. They may not be this godsend to the workforce who come in automatically knowing how to work Excel, but they're fast learners. Yeah, we've talked about this before. The weird roundabout boomerang effect of technology becoming so streamlined and efficient that younger people don't know the technicals of how to work it when they have to. As well as the gradual decline in desktop PC usage for people who aren't either in a tech job or are gamers.
Yeah.
So it's in retrospect unsurprising. I feel like it's a bit of a self-correcting problem in a way, because I feel like for the people where this is important, they will naturally learn. But I also think, as the article points out, it's more of an indictment of the education system in general than anything. I guess computer classes are like not first, but like soon on the chopping block when budgets are cut,
Yeah, because like even when I was in like fucking middle school and especially high school, we still had like computer classes, and we had like entire portions of classes dedicated to teaching people how to work different applications and different tech things on the computer. So fundamentally, the generation that I grew up as part of had an ingrained level of tech literacy when it comes to
That shit,
computers.
and that shit was ingrained too. Like they really said, this is the most important thing you're gonna learn today.
And it often was. It often was.
That's
Yeah,
how-
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's how culture felt at the time, and it was kind of true. But I guess that's just not as true anymore, and things are more relegated to their own isolated platforms or app interfaces, and so you don't need to. These young people aren't being taught to work a computer in general because they often don't need to for what they're doing.
Well, so many things in businesses now are transitioning to tablets.
Yeah,
When they have to
Yeah.
do anything that's not basic telecommunications. So like any kind of tracking software, inventory, all of that stuff, a lot of the busy work you're going to do now is done exclusively through it's done exclusively through like tablet apps and stuff like that. So, the number of opportunities, it's like one of those things like computers are a skill that your stuff retains over time. Like I learned how to use Excel when I was in school, but I haven't practiced it a whole lot, and I've lost a lot of that because these programs are very complex.
Yeah.
And so it's like, a lot of people just don't have the opportunity to use a standard desktop PC anymore because most people, everybody will pay $800 for a phone, but the second they have to pay $500 for a laptop, they're like, "Oh no, that's too expensive." So unless they have to use it for work, a lot of people just don't. A lot of the average people just don't use fucking desktops anymore, and so the literacy for them is just declining. But
I also mostly blame Apple. I blame Apple and their fucking walled garden bullshit. Because if you have, if you're a tech-minded person with an Android phone, you're doing a lot of technical things on there that Apple users are just not doing. So I do blame Apple in a lot for their overly segmented and walled garden approach to design and
Yeah, that's another thing. Like
everything.
That's another thing. Like iOS, which is very popular. Like a lot of people use it, especially younger kids.
Yeah, we call them retards, but it's fine.
Yeah, a lot of like
Apple, not even once.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a very it's not really it's so much of an open platform. It's a very closed tech space. So it's just very you oftentimes just don't have the opportunity to learn a lot of deeper tech stuff with it compared to using Android or
you don't do anything between the apps.
Yeah.
It's all handled for you, or you're locked out of it. So there's less of an impetus to learn any of that, like you have to on PC.
Yeah.
Because that's how everything works. As far as the longer term ramifications of this, I don't know. We'll see. I guess. I think.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the we'll see kind of fence. My statement was, there are, how long until. I think Zeke made a good counter argument, but my whole point, which could be valid, is, like how long until tablets are capable of doing everything a computer does that a laptop does, and laptops are just not generally necessary anymore except for very specific applications. How long until this becomes using a computer becomes a niche skill as opposed to a common skill? Like how long until it's unnecessary to use something like that?
I don't think computers will ever be a niche skill, but I do think certain aspects of them might be. Like, are we?
Well, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, our parents had to deal with this when, everything suddenly switched to computers.
Sure.
Suddenly all of their talents as, a person who is, some of the skills carried over. Like if you knew how to use a typewriter, that was a good skill to have.
Yeah.
Moving into the age of computers. But to understand programming language was really difficult. And a lot of people, and that's kind of what you had to do to use a computer in the beginning, was you had to understand programming language because everything was DOS based, everything was command based.
That's
And
true. I mean, I'm
it's
sure
like
there's
learning
a
it's
lot.
like basically asking an entire generation in their 60s to learn a brand new language, because
Yeah,
that's the
and
only way that you
yeah.
can like function.
There's a hierarchy. These things are
Yeah.
tier based. You know, I'm sure there's a bunch of Linux heads laughing at us like, oh, they don't actually know how to use a computer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Well, oh, that's just Linux people, and Linux people aren't people, so it's fine. We can disregard their opinion.
look, the goblins live among us. You can't just pretend they're not there.
Yes, I can. If I just close my ears and scream really loudly, then I can't.
Well.
They don't exist anymore.
I thought I was the obstinate one on this podcast.
I'm only obstinate towards like certain people.
Right. Yeah, no, yeah, but when I'm obstinate towards Mary Kate and Ashley or whatever, suddenly it's a problem.
You weren't obstinate. You were just ignorant about the fact that names can exist in two parts. Anyway.
No, I'm being obstinate. That's what I'm choosing to be.
All right. Well, you continue to do that. Anyway.
Okay, fine. I'm just saying, there's a double standard.
Also, it's
going on
only
here.
right when I do it. Jeez, get.
Well, I'm glad you admitted that. So
Yeah,
now it's just out there for everyone.
But no, I just think that like over time, something like it'll never disappear. But I just wonder how long we have until something like apps, can be as versatile and as powerful as anything a computer can do. I think the problem with that, I think you pointed out, was that it gives the app controller way too much control over the program.
Right. Yeah. I'm not so much
but-
worried about. I'm not worried about younger people I'm less concerned about younger people needing to learn things they weren't taught in their dumb dipshit schools than I am about companies taking advantage of the situation to further wall off and take away control from the consumer. That's more what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
We have seen some pushback on that, if I remember correctly, with there was something the Supreme Court did in the last like 10 years or whatever, where Apple was bricking people's phones intentionally if they ever attempted to do maintenance on them.
Yeah.
Themselves.
Yeah, right to repair is a huge issue.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court basically told Apple, go fuck yourself. It's their piece of property. They can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah. Apple's whole defense
So-
was, well, they don't own it. We simply license it out to them.
See,
I'm like,
I'm
no.
at the moment I am somewhat optimistic about the right for repair movement because a lot of it is being headed by farmers, and if there's one
Yes.
group that America consistently caters to, it's fucking farmers.
Really? Have you checked that recently? Because the EPA certainly doesn't. But anyway.
I'm not saying it's always a positive result. I'm not saying it's always the most forward thinking, but I feel like with the subsidies and whatnot, farmers are usually given a lot of attention in this regard. So I feel
Yeah.
if enough of them go up against John Deere, I'm feeling confident about that arrangement. at
Yeah,
the
that's a good
moment.
point. And honestly,
Yeah.
I would too.
Yeah.
Also
But we'll
because
see.
John Deere is just a scum-sucking company anyway in the first place.
Oh
but
yeah.
anyway.
Oh yeah. No, yeah.
Did you know they had a military contract at one point? They outfitted
Yes.
a tractor with armor and a machine gun.
Oh, well, yeah.
Send us to war.
No,
All
fucking
right, Chief,
top-
we're ready. Send us to war.
If there's
And
any,
the
yeah.
U.S. government was like, "You're fucking stupid." No.
If there's anything I've learned in my life, it's that when comic books portrayed billionaires as literal supervillains, they were not lying. No, like a lot of these companies are literal supervillains in the making. I don't know how else you put a gun on a tractor and think you're not a comic supervillain.
But you could use your vast wealth and incredible knowledge to cure cancer. But I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
The TLDR, though, I think to answer his question more directly, is that I'm not concerned about them not learning the same tech as we did when we were kids.
As the article says, they're fast learners. So.
Yeah, they're fast learners because they grew up in an age when technology was like we did.
shifting. It's shifting. Yeah, they got to get used to a new app every other few
Yeah,
months.
exactly.
But,
So
you know,
I'm not worried about them not being able to learn those skills if it's necessary. But am I concerned about them just not being able to use a desktop? I mean, not really. There's plenty of things we don't know how to, that we never built the skill set for that our parents knew how to do, and it never really affected our ability to function in society.
it's
Unless
true.
you're talking about how to file
We're gonna
taxes.
get does everyone need to know Excel? Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Like, Excel is a skill that is useful to have. Trust me, it looks great on a resume. especially for any kind of analytical or style job. But it's something that can be taught. And as long as the knowledge to teach such things still exists, then society is
that is a dangerous line of thinking, though, because companies today fucking hate training people.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or not fine, but that's
it's not fine. It's just a thing that
it's
happened.
fine.
Yeah.
It's kind of true.
Wow, Zeke, that's a great point, and you're very sexy for making it.
I never said any of that. Not
Roll
a
the
single
tape.
one of
Kevin,
those-
roll the tape. Kevin, roll the tape. I
Just
just replace what I just repeat what I just said
What
again.
Okay. All right.
Kind of true.
Wow, Zeke, that's a great point, and you're very sexy for making it.
Kevin, stop him. Only chance
Yeah,
being mean.
add like a flashback music, like do 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 do, and then just repeat what I literally just said.
Speaking of, if I ever make it to
Put the
one
whole
of those
thing in sepia tone.
I swear to God. But speaking of, if I ever make it to a fucking cafe in Japan, and they ask me what I would like to be referred to, I'm absolutely going the Oni-chan route.
Oh yeah, of course, naturally. Why live otherwise? Anyway, that's gonna do it for the first segment.
Yeah. Okay.
Stay tuned to the Bakagaijin show.
Or don't. Fuck you.
Yeah, you can leave now if you're a jerk.
Yeah, you can leave now. Miss the Reddit dive. Go fuck yourself.
Leave now and just know
You know
that
what?
we will
Leave.
shame
Just
you.
leave.
We will
Nobody
yeah.
wants you here. Go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. Just
Yeah.
fucking leave.
We
We didn't
we'll
ask you to be
very
here
di-
anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you could leave, but we'd be very disappointed in you.
Right.
But
Your
for the
mother
real
would be
one,
disappointed in you too. So would your football coach.
that's true. Yeah, and Jesus.
And Jesus.
And Jesus.
Jesus. This is rapidly becoming a PureFlix podcast.
Well, stay tuned to the Bakagaijin show. And welcome back to the Bakagaijin show. I know it's been a while. The floodgates have been full to bursting, backed up as it were. The Reddit dive must continue. I got a lot of stuff saved up, so we could be here a while, but that's what we're here for because it's fun.
Yes.
This first one was apparently so bad, not only did I find it on Am I the Devil, the place for the worst of Aitas to be reposted to, but it was actually deleted by the person who posted it, but thankfully, with the power of Undit, I managed to recover it.
Haha.
Am I the asshole for forgetting that my nephew was adopted?
Oh.
Oh Lord.
Oh, no.
I, 50F, had a sister, 42F, who adopted my nephew 22M when he was 11 after fostering him for a couple of months. His real dad died in jail and his mother wasn't around. She died recently and he inherited almost everything from her. The main issue is that he also inherited her dogs. Now, these dogs are all old, Rottweiler mixes that honestly shouldn't have been around him. They've all growled at my kids at some point or another, but she claimed they've never growled at him. She adopted them about a year before she started fostering my nephew, and since she had a high-paying job, she had a big house and was able to give the 3 dogs their own rooms for some reason. Wow. Now, back to
That's
now.
a little. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Back to now-
dog gets his own room with his own bed and his own bathroom and his own
And his
TV
own Xbox.
and his own Xbox. And...
I was watching a dog chew on an Xbox controller. Stu's AFK, man. Where was I? Back to now. Since my sister left them to him, he decided to keep them. After he told me that I said it was weird that he would even want the dogs after everything and that he shouldn't feel like he has to keep them. He said he'd never give them away, that it would be cruel since they're so old, and that I know how much he and my sister love them.
Oh, yeah.
Then he asked what I meant about after everything and was genuinely confused, and it clicked with me that he never realized how she felt, and so I was honest with him and explained to him that it was pretty obvious that she loved them like their own children, arguably more than him. I mean, she made homemade food for them, brought them things whenever she felt like it, got them birthday and Christmas presents, and even had a bigger room than him as a kid. She basically treated them as equals. Now, I didn't mean to upset him, but I felt he needed to know. He got even more upset and said that it was 3 dogs to 1 room, so even if the room... Well, that's not what you said earlier. What the fuck? 3 dogs to 1 room, so even if the room was bigger, which it apparently isn't, it'd make sense. Especially since his bedroom was already a big room, so why would it even have mattered? And that the toys and food weren't even an issue, that them being treated well took nothing away from how she treated him. He then started ranting about everything my sister had done for him, about how she took him in and loved him when no one else would, about how she always made time for him and gave him everything she could, about how she was such a great mother. At this point, I got sick of hearing how great she was and said, so great treating her dogs as her children while she already has one in the house. And he responded that they practically were. But then I said, but they weren't really. It's not like she gave birth to them or anything. She didn't even get them while they were babies.
Oh.
He stopped talking and just looked crushed. I tried to apologize, but he stormed out and I haven't heard from him in the last few days. I didn't mean to hurt his feelings. It was a mistake to say that to him, but in the split second I said that, I genuinely forgot he was adopted.
OP, you dumb. You stupid.
This is one of those fucking why the fuck do you care situations.
Yeah, like why did you put yourself into this situation in the first place? Just leave it alone. Just oh my god. No, OP's good.
Top comment. Dot 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 YTA? Like, what the hell were you trying to achieve? Oh, I gotta make sure the guy knows his recently deceased mother wasn't as great as he thinks of her. What?
What? Yeah. Just
That was a pro move, man.
yeah, what were
Great
you
job.
trying to accomplish here? I'm not even sure.
All of OP's posts have been deleted and I can't seem to find them, or comments, I mean. Somebody said, YTA, why do you hate your sister so much? Why do you hate your nephew? I mean, I think you did mean to hurt his feelings. I think your sole intent was to cause him harm, because there was no way anything you said could have done anything but cause harm.
Yeah.
Please stay out of your nephew's life. He does not need your toxicity, especially after having already lost so much in his young life.
Exactly. He doesn't need that shit. Come on. The fuck.
I'm
man?
kind of curious that about what else lurks on Am I the Devil?
Yeah.
This is an interesting subreddit we have not we have not plumbed the depths of enough, so
No, certainly not.
Someone said, is there anything beyond YTA in the sub that you're a petty cunt, perhaps? Perhaps, yeah, YTA.
yeah, definitely.
I think you meant to hurt his feelings, and you did, so good job. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. However, you're a fucking asshole.
Yep.
Mission should probably not have been accomplished. Okay. Am I the asshole for taking my dog into the grocery store for no more than 10 minutes?
Okay, but if you're over the 10-minute line, I'm going to slap you.
I, female 33, am a proud owner of Peanut, my Yorkshire Terrier. I took Peanut to the... It's a cute name, Peanut. I took Peanut to the dog park today in PetSmart, in the same complex as the grocery store I go to. It was a warmer day and I didn't want to leave Peanut in the car, so I leashed him up and took him in with me. I had planned on a quick trip, no more than 10 minutes. I went to the produce department to grab some stuff. A guy, probably in his 30s, not an employee, rudely told me that pets aren't allowed in grocery stores and asked me why I had a dog with me. Before I could respond, he told me it was gross as fuck to have my dog in the produce section. I explained it was hot out and I planned to be quick in the store. I apologized and said the most convenient thing for me was to come here with Peanut. He told me to fuck off and not be a lazy pet owner. Then he stormed off. It was a bit of a scene. Feeling uncomfortable, I just left. I thought it'd be no big deal. Peanut didn't misbehave or have an accident, and I didn't think I was being an asshole. Yeah.
So if it was no more than 10 minutes, why couldn't you leave them in the car?
That's
if it was that quick.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like, you wouldn't have been in there for very long anyway. So
this kind of goes both ways, OP.
It really does. It does. So like,
For from a cultural standpoint, yeah, you're kind of an asshole because people feel very, very uneasy about like pets being near their food.
Yeah.
Especially people who aren't traditionally pet owners. Like
Somebody said, top comment, YTA, as someone who works in a grocery store, don't bring your fucking dog to a grocery store. It is both unhygienic and inconsiderate to anyone with dog allergies, and puts a potential liability in the store because it's a violation of health code.
Yeah, unless it is unless it is a service animal.
Yeah.
Like you need them nearby in case you have a medical emergency, or you need them for like severe emotional support. Then like
I can understand your intention, right?
Yeah,
you didn't see any harm in it, and I don't think necessarily like you were trying to cause a problem or be defiant or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, just understand that, like, for future reference, nobody wants to see your fucking pet near the food that they're going to be purchasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody says, YTA, no pets does not mean no pets unless it's inconvenient to follow the rules, or no pets unless it's just for a few minutes.
Yeah, if
OP's minor inconvenience does not trump the rest of society's reasonable expectation for hairless produce and slobberless floors.
Yeah, if there is a no pet policy, don't bring your pet in. It doesn't matter how long you're there for. Don't.
But what if that slightly inconveniences me though?
Tough shit, motherfucker.
Oh. Anyway, YTA.
Oh yeah.
Sure, you had the best of intentions, but you're still a dick.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Sarah, can you read?
No, go ahead.
No, you can't?
No, I can't read. I can't fucking read.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. Our education system, huh? First, they don't teach you how to use Excel, and now this.
They're failing us.
I'm just fucking lazy. That's all it is.
Am I the asshole for ruining the rice that my boyfriend cooks with by consolidating the multiple bags of rice, which he claims are different, into a single container?
No, God, we literally had something like this fucking 3 months ago. No.
I, 26F, moved in with my boyfriend, 23M, earlier this year. He's kind of disorganized, so I tend to have to tidy things up a lot. He often complains that I misplace his things, but it's really just his lack of organization that more than anything. He keeps telling me to stop moving his things around, but we live here together, so I don't see why I should stop doing that. Anyway, he happens to be the one who does most of the cooking, and I'd say he's pretty good at it. One thing he does that bothers me is he keeps multiple huge bags of rice in the kitchen, which he claims are different.
Always find yourself a boyfriend that can cook well. This isn't a personal advertisement or anything, I promise.
Yeah. I'm sure OP will not.
If you nice KFB ladies that are listening, your chef's right here.
Which he claims are different bags of rice, but I looked at them and they're all just the same white rice. I told him that he should put it in a proper container, but he insists it's just fine the way it is. But the thing is, I don't think it's fine the way it is. So yesterday, I decided to consolidate all of the rice by getting a huge tub to put on all of the rice. I dumped all 3 bags in there and put them in the pantry. When I texted my boyfriend and told him where I put the rice, he completely freaked out and said I ruined the rice. He texted me that I cannot mix basmati rice with jasmine rice. It's all just white rice. I don't see how it's any less edible. When he came home, he just started yelling at me. It was really hurtful because I was doing him a favor. Aita here?
Yes.
Yes.
So not only did you disrespect your boyfriend's personal space and his personal belongings, you also don't understand how rice functions, because there different types of rice require different preparation and cooking methods.
Yeah, somebody mentioned this. It's not just about taste. Basmati and jasmine rice require different amounts of water and different cook times. You ruined his rice.
You literally did ruin his rice. He has every right to be mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he has to throw all that out now.
Yeah,
so
that is a lot of money you just wasted for him.
Yes.
Yep, you're the asshole. You're an angry cunt.
She sounds like a really selfish person. The bigger issue here is she was told multiple times that she must not move certain things, but she still did it and got offended when their boyfriend got angry at her. I don't understand these kinds of people. Is there just something bad in their brain? Why can't they understand what no means?
Yeah, it's like people.
God.
They understand it, they just don't respect it.
Somebody psychoanalyzes her, which is my favorite part. Her brain seems to value a certain stereotype or story over logic and respect. She is fixated on this idea that her boyfriend is some nutty professor type who's great at cooking but bad at organizing, and she's the female assistant he can't live without. She can't cook, but she can help him by tidying up their place. He might grumble because in his crazy mind he sees a pattern to the chaos, but ultimately she makes his life better. Unfortunately for her, he's not crazy, and the pattern is written on the bags of rice. She's indeed one of those broken-brained people who thinks their good intentions override the reality in which someone told her no. Maybe she just thinks she's living in a sitcom where she's doomed to play out her role as the grounded, reasonable wife to the crazy rice expert man. Yeah, YTA.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, you're the asshole. You ruined a bunch of food.
Yeah.
I hope he makes you dog shit for the rest of the fucking month.
I hope you shit a Rubik's Cube.
Ouch.
I've always wanted to use that one.
It's creative. Instills fear.
It's not a sphere, it's a cube.
Instills fear.
Oh, I thought he said it's still a sphere.
No,
I'm like,
instills fear. No.
It does instill fear, but it is not a sphere.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Glad we're clear there, okay.
Yeah. Come to the bakagaijinshow, learn your shapes.
We're educational. Am I the ass?
People do learn a lot, hopefully.
Am I the asshole for making my younger sister watch my baby? I, 24...
Does your baby juggle?
I, 24F, have my own apartment. My fiance is deployed, and I have a 1-year-old son. My younger sister, Ella, 18, lives with me.
It's like they did the formatting right one time, and then they just gave up.
They did, yeah. She pays no... Also, Ella 18 is one word, so that's her name now. Her name is Ella 18.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Don't ask what happened to the other 17 Ellas.
She pays no rent and goes... She pays no rent and goes to the nearby college. She has no job, and I financially support her since she is in school. Our parents live 3 hours away, so it was a better fit. I work 5 days a week, and my son is in daycare. I got called in on a Saturday. I'm off weekends, and the daycare closes on weekends, and I pleaded with my sister to watch my son. She refused and told me it was her weekend off from school, and she had a lot of studying to do. I told her I really needed her to do this for me. I never asked her. She told me I should just find a sitter online. I told her, no, you need to watch him. I take care of you, and you can do this one thing for me, or you can go back and live with our parents. She got really upset and said I'm throwing what I do for her in her face and how she's an adult and my son wasn't her kid. She did agree, though, and I went to work. When I was on break, I checked my phone and had numerous texts from my parents saying I was abusing my power over my sister and that my son wasn't her responsibility. I never ever asked my sister for help with the baby. She lives with me, so she's able to go to school she wanted to go, so she could go to the school she wanted to go to.
So, it's like, if this was like a regular thing you were foisting on her, I could see the parents' point of view. But like just an off thing.
Yeah, this was
because of circumstance.
Yeah, this is an emergency situation due to circumstances outside of your control. Someone needed to look after the kid on very short notice.
Yeah, unless this was like a regular thing, I think the sister is an asshole for making a huge deal out of this.
Yeah. Besides,
I agree.
Besides, like, the OP makes a very good point. All the stuff that OP does for you, and like, this is too much. Like, it's one day where you have to look after the kid.
Yeah.
A baby, a 1-year-old. The easiest job.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what Paw Patrol is for.
Exactly. So...
Right.
It's not even that difficult. So why are you bitching? No, OP, you're not the asshole. You're
not the asshole.
Yeah, your sister was being very, very inconsiderate and just very selfish.
Dare I say, you were in the right.
You were? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Trying to find some Tifus now just to mix things up, you know.
Oh, Tifus are...
Oh yeah, gotta love that variety.
Oh yeah. Medium Tifu time. Today I fucked up by exposing myself at a children's soft play center.
Oh, well, enjoy the sex offender registry.
Oh no.
Maybe not. It is only a medium Tifu. Today I fucked up. I took my daughter to a farm with a huge indoor soft play center. It has 2 of those big wooden drop slides and one of those slides you sit on a mat to travel down. They're all cracking slides. We both loved... Okay, they're all cracking slides.
Oh,
like
they're
a comedy.
cracking slides, man.
We both love riding down them. My daughter enjoys riding down the slides together, so we went on the mat slide first for a while. That was great fun. We then ventured onto the smaller of the 2 drop slides. This drop slide is waved and ends in a ball pit, so you have to climb a rope ladder to get out of it. That was brilliant fun. I'm getting British vibes.
Oh, they're very
while-
British.
Oh, this is British. It's British.
All right.
British alert.
British alert. After a while, my daughter said she didn't want to go on the biggest drop slide after telling me how excited she was to use it all morning, and she asked me to go on it. I like this slide, but as someone who suffers from anxiety and not being a great big fan of heights, I have to admit it makes me feel a little bit giddy before I drop down it, but I still obliged. The whole time we were riding these slides, we were chatting with the safety attendant and had some funny conversations with them. It was super quiet that day as it was term time and there were less than 30 people in the place and around 5 other children using the slides. I boarded the red slide, ready to depart, and eventually built up the courage. I made my descent and was hit with intense, painful burning sensation on my bum cheeks. Oh, they're getting more British by the second.
On my bum
On me
cheeks.
bum cheeks.
At the
Oh,
bottom,
blimey, me bum cheeks.
at the bottom, I got up, was super glad that was over, and quickly checked my backside to be sure I hadn't caused any damage. I didn't notice anything, so I cracked on with chasing my daughter around the place.
Good
My daughter
lord,
then-
this is becoming so British.
My daughter then wanted to get on the smaller drop slide again, so he went up to it and shouted.
Tony, are you here? Are you listening to this? Tell me if this is real.
The safety person stopped talking quite abruptly, mid-sentence, when I turned to sit on the slide, but I assumed that they must have thought I was done with the conversation, so off we slid. Geez, my bum cheeks were not prepared for the pain that came next. I quickly exited the slide after having to stick out my behind in the air to climb up on the rope ladder to escape. I then carried out a thorough inspection and finally found the issue. The seam on the dungarees I was wearing had split perfectly where my bum cheeks were, and I had taken a load of skin off.
Oh.
This meant I had been running around a children's soft play center with my bum cheeks and underwear exposed. It explained the bum cheek pain, and I was pretty damn sure it explained the slide attendant's sudden mid-conversational silence as well. TLDR, split dungarees on a slide in a children's soft play, didn't notice for a while. In that time, I definitely ended up exposing my behind and underwear to other visitors and staff members.
Jeez, this is a fucking comedy. Good day to you, sir. Walks away with his ass hanging out.
Good day, sir.
His bum cheeks, thank you.
Oh, his bum cheeks. My bad.
Yeah. His bum cheeks.
Is Rumpus?
His tookus.
Took us.
Oh boy. Let's see here. Right, let's go with this one.
Alrighty then. Am I the asshole for telling my dad he needs to pay for what his dog did?
Oh.
Oh boy. I, 31F, agreed to watch my dad's 54M dog last weekend. He's not a puppy anymore.
That's an old fucking dog. I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah. And he's a fairly large dog, probably around 90 to 100 pounds. He's also got a lot of energy and can run really fast. That being said, he's not very good at stopping when he runs at full speed. Big dogs can do that, yeah. On the afternoon of the incident, I was playing with the dog. We were playing with a tennis ball, and I wasn't throwing it very hard. I'd bounce it on the floor, and it would go a few feet away, and he'd catch it and bring it back. Normal stuff, at least it was until he missed. On one toss, he didn't get his mouth around the ball. It took a weird bounce off his nose, and it happened to go towards the coffee table, where I have temporarily placed my TV until my new TV stand comes in. By now, most of you can probably figure out what happened. Dad's dog went running at full speed towards the errant ball, crashed into the coffee table, and the TV toppled over and onto the floor. Unfortunately, it fell screen side down, causing it to break against the hardwood floor. The next day, I told my dad what happened. I asked him to replace it because, although it was an accident, it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had the dog in there in the first place. He said it's my fault because I shouldn't have been tossing a ball in the first place. He also says he doesn't think he should pay for a new TV. What do you think, Reddit? Am I the asshole here? Why were you playing with a ball with a big dog who can't stop on a dime in your living room with a fragile glass table and a TV? Why?
not gonna
Because
say
I'm
you're
an idiot,
I'm not gonna say you're
and
an asshole,
society
but you're a
shouldn't
fucking
punish me
idiot.
for that or expect anything more of me.
Either take the dog outside or just don't play with the fucking ball indoors, idiot.
You are an idiot. That is my verdict.
Maybe not an asshole, but you're dumb as hell. This was an easily preventable situation, and you chose not to. This is entirely your fault.
Oh, I agree.
Oh, I love the edit. Okay, I get it. Don't play ball in the house. Yes, I've heard that. Didn't really need the extra 300 comments telling me the same thing. To give y'all some perspective,
You
yes.
dumb it in a box of bricks, homie!
To give you all some perspective, yes, I do have a large living room. The TV and table were way off and out of the way. Zeus is a large dog. The ball was not being tossed in any general direction of the TV. It bounced that way after it hit his nose. It's a ball! They bounce! Balls bounce, dumbass! God. It was the result of several improbable circumstances. Really? Really? The ball bouncing across the room was improbable.
What was the inciting thing that was your decision, though, that led to these improbable circumstances?
Holy shit. I don't mind y'all saying YTA, but your comments are getting repetitive and stating the extremely obvious. Because it should be!
Well, there's only one conclusion to draw from this. What am I going to tell you? You shouldn't have gone to Egypt? Well, that wasn't part of the story, now was it?
Why wasn't a park or outside an option? For one, I live nowhere near a park. Two, it was freezing cold outside. Colder than a witch's tit in a brass bra, as they say.
This doesn't explain why you had to play fetch.
You could have just not played fetch. It wasn't necessary. God fucking damn it. Jesus.
Yeah, no, look, like, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, think about it this way. If you had, like, had, like, a rowdy party or something, this wouldn't even be a discussion. Clearly, you're the asshole in that circumstance.
Yeah.
You invited a circumstance that was wild and out of control into somebody else's property, putting their property at risk.
Yeah.
You're the asshole. Just because it was an innocent dog who didn't know what he was doing, that just means it's even more your fault.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't. The person wouldn't have expected you to have like some kind of wild or crazy party. While while you were watching shit.
Hope he gets my certified dumbass rating.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. You're a fucking moron.
Okay, time for a large Tifu.
Ooh.
Biggest of Tifus.
Well, no, XL is the biggest of Tifus.
Oh, I don't think we've even had an XL.
We've had a couple.
We've had a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today I fucked up by forgetting my office key and having to break in.
I'm going to jail for extra large Tifu. I'm going to jail forever for driving a bus full of children off the cliff.
I'm going to jail.
I'm going to jail.
So, obligatory, this didn't happen today. It was yesterday, which was actually 9 days ago.
Okay.
On mobile, excuse any errors, or don't, I don't care. Based. Anyway, so a little background to help this make sense. At my job, I manage 2 locations. One is very close to home, and the other is almost 2 hours away. That one that's farther away has an on-site manager who is there daily, and I go about once a week to check in and help out. At the faraway one, it's only me and one other person. The other manager was hired on about a year ago, so that someone was actually there most days. So in the past year, every time I go there, the door is already open, and I haven't needed my key. This week, however, she had to take a few personal days off, so she wouldn't be there when I went. My day starts off normal enough, and I make the long, boring drive out there. As I pull up, I get that cramped stomach feeling and realize I had to go to the bathroom. I start looking through my purse and realize I can't find my key. Being all responsible and shit, I cleaned my car really well last week and even switched to a new clean purse. Clearly, these mistakes were because I must have left the office key in the other purse. Multi-purse drifting. I dumped out my purse and start frantically searching my car for the spare I know I stashed in there ages ago for just this situation. My stomach, meanwhile, has switched from cramping to bubbling, and I'm starting to get nervous. Things are escalating very quickly, and my nervousness is turning into panic. I text the other lady for her key since she lives so close, but she replies that she's about an hour away at the moment. Well, I clearly don't have an hour, and my spare is nowhere to be found. I start trying to think of gas stations and stores in the area, but unfortunately we're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and the few places nearby are either employee-only bathrooms or small single-occupant ones in small buildings.
Oh no.
I'm already a very socially awkward person, and the demon I'm about to unleash will certainly not stay contained to the bathroom, and there's no way I could face that walk of shame out of whatever store I manage to find. I decide at this point to go around the back of the small building and try my luck with the old rickety back door. I bring along a couple of my pocket knives, a credit card, a mini multi-tool from my purse. I like how you brought everything but the key. Well, I waste about 5 minutes trying to break in before I remember I had the door fixed and reinforced when I remodeled a couple of years ago. See, me being responsible is a bad idea sometimes. I'm seriously starting to panic at this point, and now I'm eyeballing the bushes by the back fence, but thankfully, I still had too much self-respect for that at this point, though another 5 minutes would have fixed that. Sweating and frustrated, I'm racking my brain for ideas while tightly clenching my cheeks and willing my poo to go back up. In the midst of this stinky panic, I look over and see this old AC window unit.
Stinky panic!
I play bass for Stinky Panic. I look over and I see the old AC window unit. This thing is huge, probably the biggest I've ever seen. I've been meaning to remove it since I had the central AC replaced during the remodeling and I don't use the window unit anymore. I figure it'll be a win-win if I take it out and crawl through the window. Sounds like a good plan, right? So I remove the trusty support 2x4, squat down enough to stick my shoulder under one corner of this thing and reach out to grab the other side of it. I start to push up to get it free of the windowsill, but the pressure of me pushing up forced the first little Hershey squirt out. Why would you describe that way?
Kill yourself for that.
Right onto my favorite thong. I didn't need to know that part either. I pause, thinking frantically while freaking the fuck out. It's obviously too late to stop now, though I'm not getting into my car with a devil's chocolate oozing out of my
So creative.
I'm all in now. I give one more large shove up and tug the AC out, thinking I can gently lower it down, but it's huge, so it just comes crashing down. By the time the crashing sounds fade, I realize the chocolate fountain is starting to flow, and I need to get inside now. Using the AC as a step up, I climb through the window and finally make it to the toilet. Not a religious person, but I was sending out prayers to whatever god might have been listening, asking for mercy as the hot lava spewed out. What did you eat? Once it was all done, I just sat there shaking, trying to catch my breath as the reality of what just happened set in. It takes a while, and a lot of soap and paper towels, but I'm finally clean. Will I ever feel clean again? I had to go out to close the window when I now notice for the first time in my many years coming to this office that whoever installed this behemoth of a window unit did not simply push the window up, but had simply removed the bottom portion. Now there's this gaping hole where a window should be. There's no way I can put the AC back in by myself, and I have no good explanation for why it's laying on the ground outside, at least none that I'm willing to share with my boss or coworkers.
Oh my god.
The weather is already creeping up to the 90s, so this hole has to be covered, and I'm sure my boss will want an explanation if I can't get it fixed before they visit next. While I'm brainstorming, my husband calls to see how my day is going. I just grunted to indicate not good, and he said, "So, having a shitty day, huh?"
Oh boy. Oh, you have no idea, sir.
Boy. Oh, this peace is what all true warriors strive for. Finally, I started laughing, and after telling him about my shitty day and my enduring his terrible, corny jokes, I felt a little better. I'm sad about my favorite thong being thrown out, and I still have no idea how to replace a window, but I guess I can just Google that. TLDR, I forgot my key to a distant office, shit myself while breaking in, and now there's a hole where the window should be.
God, I'm imagining the boss coming in, looking at that, being like, "What happened here?" And OP's just like, "I shit everything!" God.
What happened here?
Something bad happened here. Jesus. OP,
yeah.
I feel bad, but also, damn, that's funny. Also, maybe be a little bit less descriptive next time.
I feel like it's just a mandatory thing on Reddit that if you talk about a shit story, there has to be discussing descriptions of everything.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just tradition.
Yep. Oh, well, here's another large Tifu.
All right.
Today I fucked up by eating too much Wagyu meat. So, today I fucked up by eating too much meat. This actually happened a while ago while I was in C school for the Navy, and I never thought to put this here until a few days ago. I'll try to make this short. After finishing, I realized this is not short, and I am sorry.
On.
So a bunch of friends I'd made during my 3 or so months at C school were all hanging out for one of the friends' birthdays. We'd all put in a little over $100 on this site for meat so we could have up this barbecue. Birthday boy went to go pick it up, and birthday boy ended up cooking it because he was excited to finally have Japanese Wagyu steak again. We ended up also getting Kobe burgers and expensive hot dogs. Oh, you going all out for your boy!
So much meat.
So he's preparing it, and I'm seeing these wonderful cuts for the first time, and we're drinking beers and just chatting about random stuff. Fast forward to my fat ass having tasted some of the best meat I ever had. On my third or so steak...
He literally wrote thirth.
Yep, 3th, like 3...
Wow.
On my 3rd or so steak, 2 hot dogs and like 2 burgers, I was pretty stuffed.
Wow.
Each day that went by, I never felt the urge to poop. Why is this... Are we seeing a pattern here today? Is this a pattern
God.
today? God, no.
It's a lot of dogs.
Welcome to the Bakagaijinshow shit review episode.
I'm
That's
sure...
a good idea for VTubers. They should do a toilet dump review stream. That would bring in lots of.
It's Fecal Friday.
Right.
I'm sure you
It's
know.
Fecal Friday.
I'm sure you know where this is going, but it gets worse.
Oh.
On day 4, I decided to poop. It just felt like it. Yeah, I think I'll poop today. Not because I felt like I needed to let one out, but because I knew he was up in there, hiding and growing inside. It was around 23:30, 11:30, when I made the decision. I went into the head bathroom and prepared to struggle. My brain must have understood that I was trying to poo because I immediately felt my body begin to send the "it's time to release the load" feeling to my lower region. Nothing was happening. I struggled to produce even a single Cocoa Puff-sized something, but literally nothing happened. Then I could feel something really large slowly making its way into existence. I started to realize I should have tried to remove this a lot sooner. 3 other days' worth of filth had compacted into this birthday meat, and I realized I was about to give birth to a large child. I started suddenly worrying / panicking. I started thinking I was going to need my shit surgically removed. Think of the largest shit you could ever have being so large it not only hurts, but you start to realize there's no way that you'll be able to pass the log through that opening. I gripped the walls and could feel my face going red as I struggled. Then I could feel myself stretching. Fuck. This is really... Jesus! Stop being so colorful with your depictions! I immediately stopped. I never felt such pain. I've had a handful of sand thrown directly into my eyes, and that didn't even compare. I pushed and started breathing heavy. You really are giving birth. I started thinking I was literally about to die in a fucking bathroom like Elvis did because I ate too much meat. I pushed again and used my sphincter to attempt to snip, but it was like a bowling ball. I tried to compressing it from within, and that literally sent spikes of pain throughout my lower regions. I began to cry. I pushed, squeezed, and tried to snip as much as I could. I was sweating profusely. My thighs went numb. I remembered that stupid fucking advertisement for the poop stool with the unicorn you elevate your legs on to help pass things faster. And took a break to go get something to prop my legs on. I wiped and noticed a lot of blood. No! Oh god! I returned and upon elevating my legs noticed the difference. The orb within me was more willing to leave. I just needed to accommodate its size. I kept struggling and back to crying, regretting eating all that wonderful steak. I pushed past the pain and could no longer snip. It began to... Stop describing it like you're actually giving birth! Stop! It began to crown. Stop! I pushed and pushed, and eventually the width of me matched the log. It did not slide out. There was so much resistance, but eventually I painfully got it out. It felt like I shat out my organs. I painfully wiped the blood and shit as carefully as I could without agitating the already agitated exit. Then the toilet wouldn't flush. It was so massive it didn't even appear like the toilet did anything to it. All I'll say is I got rid of it. I left the bathroom. Oh, that's where you stop. Oh, that's where you decide the descriptions are too much. I left the bathroom to see my roommate knocked out. 3 hours and 20 or so minutes had passed. I climbed into my bed and curled up into the fetal position. I know it's my fault, but I didn't know. I had fogo de chao in Texas de Brazil with no problems. I don't know what made that meat so different. Top comment. Sounds like you needed a poop knife.
Why? You mean he doesn't have his own poop knife?
Jesus Christ.
Clearly you needed a poop knife.
Holy fuck.
Wait, he doesn't have his own poop knife? What kind of human doesn't have his own poop knife?
In Germany, we call it a Kottlinge, and they're usually passed down the generations.
Wow, I never thought I would see the poop knife again.
Poop knife returns.
The return of poop knife.
Mm-hmm. See, this is a situation where you gotta lick doorknobs to get diarrhea for easy passage. I remember that green text. That's a fun one.
Bro, why did it take you 2 days to do this? Fuck, man.
3 days, actually.
You fucking ripped your asshole trying to pass this damn thing. God.
Sounds like OP needs some fucking fiber in his diet.
Definitely. Jeez. The meat's not the problem, it's the rest of your diet. Woof.
Good lord.
Well, just like OP, we got through that together.
Barely.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Can we get a less shitty post now?
Sure, how about an extra large Tifu?
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Today I fucked up by befriending the entitled kid with no friends.
Oh dear, this can go very poorly.
This could go places. Let's find out if it's worthy of the designation of Excel. Alright, so to start off, I, 18F, am currently a senior. Last year was really emotionally taxing on me, and I had a mental breakdown. I just couldn't take another year in my huge school, mainly because of my studies. Luckily, my therapist offered me a new program she knew about from a colleague for teens with mental health struggles. The program was basically a smaller school, and I use the word school lightly here because we're literally 8 teens, including myself, in this entire school.
Right.
Half the staff there are all certified psychologists, which we each meet twice a week, and other than that we have group therapy, art therapy, music therapy, just normal school subjects, etc. Now, all of my classmates are in different ages because our program goes from 9th to 12th grade, so the youngest there is 14 and the oldest, which is me, is 18. I honestly love my classmates so much. I was hesitant at first because of the age differences, but I'm honestly pretty close to all of them. I'm pretty sure they all think it's cool to have an 18-year-old friend, because quite honestly, I've never felt as popular as I do here. Kind of cool to see some of them remind me of myself when I was their age, even if I do cringe at memories of 14-year-old me. I love how they think it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you the difference between 14 and 18 is not as much as you think.
Really isn't.
No, it's not.
Now, not everyone is rainbows and sunshines. I have one classmate that I absolutely hate, and I really wish it was just me, but nope, everyone hates him. I'm going to call him Oliver, M15. Now, one of the problems I'm currently working on in therapy is that I'm a huge fucking people pleaser. So at the start of the year, I tried to make friends with everyone, develop conversations, basically do anything to make a good impression, and so did everyone else. The problem started about less than a month into the school year when we've all become friendly enough to drop the niceties. Oliver turned out to be really fucking annoying. He would always make cynical comments, and his favorite humor was to just be mean to people. So of course people started to be mean to him back, and he'd always get offended. Like I said before, I'm a top-notch people pleaser, and I thought I'd give him another chance, and I tried to keep him talking to me. Obviously, his behavior never gets better, but I've dug my own grave at this point. He told me how much he appreciates me being his friend, and he wants me to be his mentor. Honestly, I didn't fucking know what he wanted from me, and holy shit, I'm still going through my own shit, so obviously I just said, yeah, sure. Not my proudest moment if I mentioned I'm a people pleaser. Anyway, skip forward a couple of weeks, and One day, one of our classmates, F15, I'll call her Alice because she comes back later. Anyway, she's telling us her girlfriend wants to meet her after school at the mall, and she's sure she's going to break up with her. So me and another classmate of ours, F14, tell her we'd go with her to the mall, so if she'd get dumped, we'd be there for her. I even told her I'd buy McDonald's, even though I'm broke, lol. We talked about this for a while, and Oliver overheard this conversation and invited himself to join us, and I jokingly said something about giving him a makeover a few days ago, and he said that while Alice and her girlfriend talked, we could go buy him clothes. Important to mention, Oliver has this weird ship between Alice and her girlfriend, even though he never met her girlfriend.
Oh no.
I did. I did. I think she's fucking terrified for a 14-year-old, terrifying for a 14-year-old girl, but go on. Alice didn't seem to bother, so I never said anything. Anyway, we get to the mall, we do our shopping, get food. About an hour later, we get a call from Al. Can I just stop here? I'm just impressed teenagers are still going to the mall.
I know. It's amazing.
I thought the mall. I guess the mall's back.
That's so rare.
Anyway, we go to the mall, get to shopping, get food. Hour later, get a call from Alice. She tells us where she is, and she has in fact been dumped, so we all rush over to her and comfort her. Oliver tries to comfort her, but he makes a point to say it's hard on him too because, man, he really shipped them.
Why are you
Anyway, I buy
shipping
Alice
real
from
people?
Anyway, I buy Alice from McDonald's and we all go home. Oliver told me he'd never been on a public bus before, so I helped him navigate, sent him a map, told him exactly where he needed to go, and I later found out he fell asleep on the bus and ended up in God knows where, so his dad drove it to the middle of the night to pick him up. All this situation sort of got me to see why he acts the way he does sometimes. He's the oldest child, his parents really spoil him, they gave him like $400 when we went shopping. I've met his parents before and they seem so nice and they absolutely bend to his even will, so honestly the pieces fit together as so why he isn't so entitled, so I decided to give him another chance. That same night when I was taking my bus home, I got sexually harassed by some 50-year-old guy, and the next day I talked about it in group. Alice had been sexually assaulted in the past, and she talked to me about it and honestly made me feel a bit better when she was laughing with me about it. And then Oliver made everything about himself, said he's so angry at himself that he didn't stay with me, even though we took completely different buses. And honestly, what would he even do? He's tiny as fuck. I know he was probably just worried, but... And I kind of understand by this point that I'm his first ever friend who is a woman because of how he acted, but... Fuck, I hated the fact he sees himself as this knight in shining armor. He tried to give me a hug for the rest of the day, which I just didn't want, so he kind of just pouted all day. I'm actually glad he asked that time, because he used to just hug me without asking, and I've told him so many times to ask, because when men suddenly hug me without warning, I get kind of scared. Thankfully, by now, he's learned to always ask. Anyway, fast forward a month later, I am this close to being done with his shit. So, we were in a group session, and Oliver and Alice were fighting about something. Alice has major anger issues, and Oliver feels entitled enough, so this happened pretty often, but this one was big, even though the matter of the fight was so unimportant. Anyway, Oliver calls Alice a bitch, and that was it for me. Maybe it was the pent-up rage or the fact that I'm a feminist, but I shut him the hell up. I just yelled at him and told him I don't care about their fight. Don't ever call her or any person in the future a bitch unless you're walking them into a dungeon with a leash in one hand and their consent in the other. For the rest of the week, Oliver was quiet.
Kinky. First of all, kinky.
Yeah. Oliver was quiet. He didn't talk.
All you need is a leash and consent.
For the rest of the week, Oliver was quiet. He didn't talk, didn't do his classwork. He just sat on his phone. Whatever. So next group therapy rolls around, and we talk about the fight that happened last time. Our psychologist asked Oliver if he's still upset with Alice, and he said that he wouldn't be so upset and would have probably forgotten about the fight in a day if I didn't step in. Apparently, what he was upset about all week was that I took her side. The last major thing to happen with him was this last January. I couldn't care less by this point, and I honestly started treating him like the rest of the class. But still not so outwardly hateful, because, well, you know by now. Anyway, this January was my 18th birthday. She had 3 exclamation points, so I had to do that.
Oh my god!
I invited all my friends to my home, and I was hesitant to invite my friends from school because they're so much younger than my other friends, but fuck, it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to. Melanie Martinez reference, I understand that. I invited 3 of my classmates to the party. Obviously, I don't need to tell you who wasn't invited, but unfortunately, Alice couldn't give a shit about the others, knowing I had a party and didn't invite them all. Honestly, I would invite all of them, but Oliver, if I thought they'd get along with my friends and all the booze. So she started talking about it loudly right in front of the class with everyone, and fuck me, I guess, because after the first panic was gone, I thought maybe this won't be awkward, but no. Oliver came to me at the end of the day and straight up asked me, can I come to your party? I mean, he was a bit more nervous about it, but I still had to come up with some excuse as to why he couldn't come on the spot. And the best I had was, I honestly don't think you'd get along with my friends, so I'm glad he dropped it after a few minutes of bargaining because I was so close to inviting him. Fast forward to today, it's his birthday. I skipped school for mental health reasons. I didn't know it was his birthday. I know he still considers me his mentor and that he'll be upset with me next time I see him. Not looking forward to going back to school next week. That's it? That's your extra large tea? Fuck you.
What the fuck was that?
That was nothing! That was nothing!
Fucking teenagers.
Oh, I'm so
No, you don't
tired.
understand. It's so bad. It's not that bad.
You're gonna do this to Saradin. You're gonna make his extra large Tifu experience this fucking vapid and stupid. Get out of here.
Dude, even I'm offended. Like, come on.
I wasted our fucking time. I can't believe this.
Where's the kaboom? There's supposed
It's
to
like-
be an earth-shattering kaboom.
It's like, yeah, dudes be annoying sometimes. Okay?
Yeah, fucking...
Honestly, it sounds like the guy's gradually improving. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck the problem, what the major fuck up here is.
Yeah, what... I'm...
This wasn't like it wasn't
Honestly,
even like
the
there
most
was one.
insensitive thing possible. You still need more therapy, honey.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, if this is extra large to you, you need more therapy. Call me back when someone fucking dies.
So,
Like Kevin, we've read extra large tifus where people have fucking died or almost died, got horrifically injured, life-sustaining injuries, had a fucking rock in their ear for 13 years.
no, that was no, again, the rock in the ear was only a large Tifu. But it qualified for an extra large.
I'm
Unless,
Well, yeah.
look, unless someone
If you-
has, unless
if you
something
are
happens.
not on par, if you are not on par with rock in the ear for 13 years, Sky, you don't deserve the XL. Get out of here.
Yeah. Like, we have a baseline to keep here, okay? This isn't even a Tifu.
Like, at least lose some money or get assaulted or fucking.
Okay,
you know,
okay,
go to
okay,
a
okay,
hospital.
Well, there was the
Something.
part about her getting sexually harassed by a 50-year-old, but that should have been the T.
I guess, but that's not even like that wasn't even like it was like an afterthought. It was like a post-it note to this story.
God.
Like, I'm sorry that happened, but
It's
not an XL.
Yeah. It's like small, medium at worst. It's not that big of a deal. Yeesh.
I'm gonna find another one of these fucking things.
Find a better one. Good lord.
Yeah.
Disappointed. So disappointed. Kevin, here's an ITO. Wash it down.
All right. Am I the asshole for not letting my son wear an eye patch?
Yarr!
Yar!
Avasti! OP better walk the plank for this blunder.
My son is 14 years old and about a month ago, and unfortunately was in an accident that left him permanently blind in his left eye. Otherwise, he's uninjured. I can't imagine how he feels about it, losing a part of you like that and being unable to do the sports he loved playing anymore. While it was healing, the doctors had him cover it up to help the process. Now that the medical stuff is off, he told me that he wanted to wear an eye patch to cover it up. I told him that I didn't want him to feel the need to be self-conscious about it and that he should just accept himself. We ended the conversation there for the time being.
You don't get to decide that.
You really don't.
This isn't The Sims. You don't get to decide your son's self-consciousness level.
The topic came back up again after another week of him being in school. He told me he was tired of the other kids looking at him and asking him about it. I told him that it wouldn't go away with an eye patch and would probably warrant even more questions from people. He got mad at me for not letting him do it, and I said that I was crazy, not just going with it. Am I the asshole if he just keeps it as is?
Yes.
Yeah, like,
Fuck you.
dude, if he puts on the eye patch, he's wearing an eye patch. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up questions with that. It's, wow, he's wearing an eye patch. He must not have an eye.
Yeah, like, it answers the question for them. Like, congratulations, problem solved.
My
So-
eye patch is inspiring a lot of questions already answered by my eye patch.
Yep.
That was funny.
Yeah, top comment. I told him I didn't want. This isn't about you. This is about him learning to be comfortable in his own skin again. If that means an eye patch, so be it. This has zero to do with your wants. You can't dictate your child how to feel.
Yep.
Considering his, yeah, like, if he wants an eye patch, let him wear the damn eye patch. Fuck's sake.
Let him feel cool, comfortable.
Yeah. If an eye patch is gonna make him feel better about everything, then just let him wear it. It doesn't literally hurts nothing. It hurts nothing to try. Okay.
I hate these parents that think that they're playing the fucking Sims and they can just min-max their kids' feelings.
It's okay, child. I know what is better for you.
Oh.
Did you know what was better for daddy? Shut up.
Alright. Large Tifa time.
Okay. Please be
Today
better
I
than the
fucked
fucking
up.
extra large. Jeez.
Yeah. Let's hope. Today I fucked up by telling my mom she could move in.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Today I fucked up by telling my mom, 56F, that she could move back in with my 26F apartment after she broke up and subsequently got kicked out of her boyfriend's apartment without checking it with my fiance. By the way, throwaway account. My mom hasn't been the best mother to me or my siblings our entire life. I'm the youngest of 3 with a decently large age gaps to my siblings. My brother's 8 years older, my sister's 6 years older. So the moment they could get away, they did and went limited to no contact with her. When I was young, I definitely felt a bit abandoned by them, as I was the one who had to deal with all of her bullshit the longest. She was with her ex-husband for 15 years and chose him constantly over us. This pattern of her choosing piece of shit men over her own family will be a constant in our relationship. Back in November of 2021, my mother, being properly medicated and seeking therapy, wised up and finally left her ex. I had moved across the country right before the pandemic and went... No contact. Okay, it said NC. I thought North Carolina for a second.
Yeah, no
but
contact.
No. Okay, I had a couple of thoughts. My first thought was North Carolina. My second thought was Night City. And then my third thought was, oh, no contact, right. Went no contact with her after. She got my aunt to contact me and essentially begged me to help my mother get away from her ex-husband. I stupidly said, all right, but I have some rules. And you're going to love this, Kevin, because there's 4 rules!
4 rules!
Number 1, she is to go no contact with him unless it's to deal with divorce proceedings. Come to find out, they technically got divorced 10 years prior when she last left him and just never got remarried. Number 2, under no circumstances is he to know where I live. Number 3, no dating for a year. Number 4, continue therapy. I didn't think my rules were that hard to accept. She's a serial dater and always jumped from one relationship to another without any focus on herself.
Yeah.
Which is why I implemented Rule 3. She broke that rule in 2 months, even went behind my back, also stopped therapy, even though it was all online. My fiance and I started dating in January of 2022 and quickly fell in love. My mom's excuse for dating was that she felt like a third wheel around us. She quickly stopped spending time with me and spent all of her free time going to the local bar and going on dates. By May, she started seriously seeing this guy she worked with and slowly moved in with him. I had my niece and nephew visiting for the summer, and on nights that I worked, instead of staying home to watch her grandkids, they're preteens, not much babysitting really required, she'd drag them over to her boyfriend's house. The last weekend of July, I took them back home, and my mother moved what little she had left at my place, and I barely spoke to her for the rest of the year. This hurt me. I thought that for once in my life I could regain somewhat of a mother-daughter relationship that I was owed. I cried a lot. This hurt my fiancé to see me like that. I found out that I was pregnant with my first in late August, and while she was happy for me, there was still very little contact with me. My fiancé moved in October, and we've been really happy ever since. Until today!
Until now.
My mom comes over, unannounced, and is bawling. Her and her boyfriend broke up, and it was over something that I'd consider pretty trivial and frankly none of his business. Her car payments. I never liked the guy from the beginning. The 3 biggest reasons being, number 1, he's racist. He made racist remarks about my mother's family. She's from Portugal, and has said that my Puerto Rican fiance is marrying me for a green card. Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens, for those who don't know. Number 2, he's homophobic. He mocks one of their co-workers who's gay and told my nephew to knock off that F-word shit. My nephew isn't even gay to our knowledge. Number 3, he's an alcoholic. This guy always has a beer in his hand, always. The first time I met him, he slammed a tall boy beer in my spare bathroom and left the can sitting on top of my counter. Every time they go out to eat, he's always drinking. I'd understand a casual beer after work, but he's been drinking and driving her car. I lost my dad to a drunk driving accident. He was the drunk driver when I was 7. My mom knows how I feel about that. So good riddance to that piece of dog shit. The problem now is that she doesn't have a place to go. Her friend has offered to put her up for a couple of nights, but she can't move. What are you opening?
I'm not. It's just a weird thing over here. No, keep going, keep going.
But she can't move in. However, I have the room. Her old bedroom has been converted to a storage/cat room. I told her she can stay on the couch or bunk with the cats.
Excuse you. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. There's a spare bed in the room, but she'll have to rearrange the room to sleep comfortably in it. I stupidly said
Stay classy, Los Angeles. Anyway, go ahead.
I stupidly said all this to her before I spoke to my fiance about it, and he's rightfully pissed off. I definitely spoke with my heart and not my brain. She said that she was going to pay us rent like before and save up to get her own place. Ideally an easy feat considering she makes about 20K more than me, and she wouldn't be wasting her money on expensive outings. Ideally. My fiance was already having a bad day at work, and I feel like such an asshole by piling this on top. He did say at the end of the day my name is the only one on the lease, so it is my decision, but he lives here too, and I know what it's like when someone you might not be on the best terms with suddenly moves into your space. I have a few hours before he comes home, and while I currently can't erase this situation, I still want to figure out a way to ease his anger because I definitely fucked up. TLDR, mom broke up with boyfriend, got kicked out, told her she can move in with me without checking it with my fiance first. This led to him being rightfully pissed off.
I mean, you fucked up, that's for sure.
Yeah,
honestly,
there was a fuck up.
Honestly, I feel like your mom was fucking up more.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, your mom really knows how to pick them.
But we're not gonna get a Tifu post from the mother because I don't think she recognizes her fuck ups in this way.
True,
so,
yeah.
The self-awareness seems a little low.
Yeah, no, there are plenty of people like that who don't really Some people are just bad at dating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
They just are horrible judges of character and pick the worst possible people to be with. And the mom in this case seems to be one of those kinds of people. Which is unfortunate, but learning experience, I guess,
yeah,
but
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do understand wanting to help your mom because, you know, it's your mom, but you really should have asked your fiance first, because if he didn't want her, it's both of your, both of you are kind of sharing the living space, so you really should have asked first.
Oh god damn! I tried to find another one that was deleted, with undid, but apparently it was removed within 21 minutes of posting, so it's just gone.
Oh shit!
Fuck. God damn it!
Into the ether it goes. Holy shit!
That's pretty funny, actually.
That's rare.
That's a fucking. That's a shame. Let's see. I have plenty to choose from. It's more of a issue of pacing more than anything.
Yeah, trying to figure out the best ones, the ones that work best.
Give me the crop, the tippity top, I don't know. Kevin, read this medium Tifu if you would, please.
Alrighty then, I think I shall. Today I fucked up when I shared fun facts about me at work. Quote unquote fun facts, and this one is labeled NSFW, so you know it's good.
Oh, this is good.
Spicy!
Random throwaway.
Ooh, spicy.
My girlfriend called me at work yesterday to tell me she was experiencing a panic attack. I asked where she was. She said she was stuck in traffic. I encouraged her to stop the car on the side of the road as soon as it was safe to proceed. In the meantime, I applied what she taught me to do if she had a panic attack, which was to distract her with random conversation. It was my first time interacting with someone having a panic attack.
Look, a weasel! Let's talk about it!
I had no idea what kind of random content would be appropriate for the conversation I was required to provide in such an intense situation, so I opted for fun facts about myself. 1.
Let's go through them!
1. My mental clock always wakes me up on time. 2.
Cool.
I still need to literally fall as an adult. What? What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. 3.
So I hold on. So I do. When kids are young, a lot of child therapists will tell you to let your child experience falling, because falling is a natural human fear.
Right, yeah.
And so that you have to try to train that, like when children fall, and they start crying, a lot of times it's not because they're actually scared. It's just because the parents themselves get freaked out.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they assume they did something wrong. So it's important to not create to allow them to overcome that fear, that natural bred in fear. A lot of therapists will tell you, practice falling small distances with your children, like drop them off of like a cushion onto a bed or something, or whatever. Get them used to that idea, because it's going to happen. So apparently that's what they're talking. That's what I assume they're talking about, is they never went through that.
Right.
So
our advice: drop your babies.
Yes.
Yeah. Sibling's oldest child got into the rhythm of crying whenever they fell, just because the parents tended to have very over emotive reactions. But then one time the kid fell onto the floor without anybody looking, just looked up, shook their head, and just moved on. And it was that point we realized, oh, they're fine. We just need to calm down. So the next time they fell down, it was just like, you good? And they're like, yeah. And then just moved on.
Anyway, number 3.
Number 3, spiders scare me. Mood.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Mercy.
Number 4, I'm the tallest person in my family. Also same. 5, every time I meet a pregnant woman, I think, now everyone knows you had sex.
Wow, that's the 5th thing that comes to mind when you think about fun facts about yourself.
Number 6, I never wear hats. Me neither.
Unrelatable.
Number 7, my worst case scenario trick to lasting longer in bed is to imagine Ron Perlman and Danny DeVito making out naked.
What?
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm so straight. I think about Robin Perlman and Danny DeVito going at it. Fucking... Anyway. 8, I buried... What the fuck? Okay. 8, I buried the teddy bear I used to...
Go ahead.
I buried the
thing.
I buried the teddy bear I used to fuck as a horny teenager in my parents' backyard because it eventually lost all its softness, and I didn't want my mom and dad to ask awkward questions about the crusty bear.
I know a guy who does that with stuffed rabbits. I've never met a teddy bear guy, though.
And number 9 is just 3 question marks. There was no number 9 because one of my coworkers interrupted me. I was on the toilet at work when my girlfriend called. I thought I had privacy because the men's room was empty when I entered. But then someone knocked on the door. The coworker. Think Gen Z Nathan Fielder. I didn't know how much Nathan heard, but he must have heard enough because he asked if I was drunk. I said I was dealing with a personal emergency, which prompted him to ask if it was a mental health issue. I said I would explain later. My girlfriend was laughing on the phone. Nathan making me uncomfortable apparently made her panic attack go away. Awesome! Embarrass yourself more. The good news, my girlfriend recovered. The bad news, Nathan now knows too much about me. He knows too much.
Watch your back, Nathan.
He must be silenced. TLDR, girlfriend called me at work to tell me she was having a panic attack. I tried to distract her with fun facts about myself. One of my coworkers overheard some of my NSFW facts, and now I'm on his radar for all the wrong reasons. Top comment. Just tell him you were trying to make your girlfriend laugh to calm her panic attack down, and some of that shit was made up. Sure you were, and sure it was, plushy fucker. You fuck one plushie to death, and all of a sudden you're a plushie fucker. Oh, good guess, but I'm not going to tell you which ones I made up. Say, anyone ever tell you to look up a young Danny DeVito? You look like a young Danny DeVito. God.
Anyway.
Yeah, no.
It's fucking atrocious.
And now.
Yeah, that qualifies as medium. That qualifies.
Sure. Now for a post from our fanfiction.
Oh dear fucking God, no.
Which is actually a cross post. The post simply reads, "People like this guy are my worst fear." Upside down smiling emoji. It is a cross-posting an Aita thread, so it's still technically an Aita.
Okay, alright.
Am I the asshole for telling my friends my girlfriend F33 writes fanfiction? My girlfriend Sandra, F33, and I, M35, have been together for about a year now. We're not living together. Yet. He's got expectations. We've talked about this. We were both working in respectable fields. The other day I was out with some mates. Oh, oi! This is Australian. This is Australian.
Oh, we getting this one from down under?
Oh, Struth.
Chew Ripper!
Chew Ripper! I apologize to every Australian. Everything I know about the Australian language comes from Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. The other day, I was out with some mates, and after a fight, I was slightly tipsy and thought of surprising Sandra, of course, a fake name, as I have keys to her flat. When I got there, I noticed she was asleep on the couch and her laptop was on the coffee table. I feel like we've heard this one several times before. She hates sleep mode, so she disabled it on her laptop. It was on, not even locked. She had a Word document, and she seems she's been working on it. I caught some words and couldn't help myself, so I started reading. I took the laptop into the kitchen to not wake her up. Turns out it was a romantic fan fiction about one of her favorite TV series. Nothing steamy, just sort of silly, girly, romantic notions kind of bullshit. You know, the ones teenage girls dream of and then realize no man can actually behave like that? Like, no, it's like, no, Susan, I ain't touching the small of your back because you're cute. Not catching those harassment allegations, if you know what I mean. Anyway. Sorry, Susan. Miss me with those harassment allegations. I will not be caressing the small of your back. A phrase just made up by fanfic writers that no one in real life uses. Again, bringing that one back. I was curious and desired to spy a little bit to see if she'd written more, and discovered her accounts on 2 different platforms for fanfiction. No idea those sites were that huge. Oh yeah. Anyway, she's written a lot of them. All cutesy girly shit, some naughty stuff. Again, unrealistic in my opinion. When she awoke in the morning, I confronted her about this, and she... Why did people feel the need to confront people about everything? I confronted her about this, and she was defensive and started going on about privacy and stuff. I told her to cut the crap and admit she feels dissatisfied about our relationship. And that's why she's writing. I gave her a reality check and said her soft men she writes about were unrealistic. She was really angry and kicked me out. I told her I'm not one of her characters and won't tolerate her mood swings, but she still kicked me out. Later that day, we were meeting our friends for lunch. Sandra came, but barely spoke to me. At some point, we were talking about something, and I mentioned what Sandra writes, hoping that people will laugh, and one guy did. The rest just ignored any news, which was kind of surprising to me. I tried to continue the topic and understand why everyone seemed okay with the cringe, but Sandra called me an asshole and went to the bathroom. My friend said it would be best if I left, but I didn't want to do so, because I didn't do anything bad. When Sandra came back, she told me her writing is her private thing and I'm an asshole for bringing it up. I told her to grow up and call me when she comes to her senses, but she hasn't called me since. I told my other friends and
I wonder why!
I told my other friends and they agreed with me that
Good Lord!
I told my other friends and they agreed with me that what Sandra writes is cringe and should have been called out. And they don't think I'm the asshole, so I'm still confused about my other friends' reactions. I need impartial opinion. Aita for telling my friends?
My comment to you is you want to rag on her for unrealistic expectations of men. Do you watch porn? Like, at all?
It's a fantasy.
Do, you're a fucking stupid, hypocritical idiot. No woman on earth acts like the women in porn do. Look, they just don't.
I like the top comment from the R fanfiction. It's like, I wonder why she writes fics about men that aren't total assholes.
That's a very good point. Like, yes, there probably is something about your relationship that is encouraging her to write stuff like this, but that's all on you, not her. And even if you had a completely healthy relationship and normal relationship, she is entitled to her fantasies, and it is under no circumstance your job to tell her that she is wrong or cringe or whatever for having these fantasies. You overstepped your boundaries, you violated her personal space and her personal belongings, you shamed her for the things that she writes, for her own personal fantasies that she kept private for a very damn good reason, and then you went ahead and tried to shame her in front of everybody because it's cringe and weird. What part of this doesn't make you look like the asshole? I'm asking.
The top comment of the actual Aita thread is, I violated my girlfriend's trust and gossiped about her to my friends. I do it again. Am I the asshole? Yes. And you're proud of it.
I'll fucking do it again.
I'll do it again.
Dude, how do you... Also, I fucking love how the first friend group made it very clear that he was an idiot and an asshole, but then he had to go to a completely separate friend group who are probably assholes too, are like, no, yeah, man, that's totally cringe, bro. She should stop. Like, yeah, bro. Yeah, totes, bro. Like,
somebody says, YTA, you're 35 years old with the maturity of a teenager. I hope Sandra dumps you and finds someone who respects her and her hobbies.
I agree. She does not... You don't deserve her. Come on. That's bad, man. That's bad. Poor form.
By the asshole.
Yeah.
You're just fucking dick.
Yeah.
You shouldn't die. Like,
seriously, I hate it when people do shit like this. No, it's cringe, so I must make fun of it and shame people for it so they can stop being cringe.
It's not cringe. You're cringe.
The life you live privately that doesn't affect me bothers me.
I confronted
Therefore,
her
you
about
must change.
This
God
section isn't cringe. You're cringe.
Suck a dick, man.
See,
Maybe
fanfic
some of your
writing
asshole
is...
friends would like you more than your girlfriend.
Medium Tifu. Today I fucked up by teaching my little brother the word uwu.
Uwu.
Oh yeah.
Uwu. Uwu.
You know, the funny thing is, my siblings' kids all know uwu and oo already. A few months ago, I, F19, had taught my little brother M10 some words including rower, chicky nuggies, owo, and uwu, just for fun. Since he was jokingly talking in a very high-pitched voice, I thought nothing of it at the time, but now I'm starting to question if that was a bad idea. This morning, I had just gotten to work when my mom got a phone call from the elementary school about my little brother. Seeing as I was running late, I had to rush inside to clock in, so I couldn't stick around to see what was going on. Not even 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from my mom, furiously screaming into the phone, "What on earth does EWU mean?" Confused as to what my mom was asking me, I asked her to spell it. She goes on, "I don't even know, EWOO?" Still confused, I asked her what was going on. Apparently, my little brother was going around the playground saying "uwu" in a high-pitched voice to all the other kids there. The kids then went and told the teacher he was saying TikTok code words for wanting to hurt people.
So fucking funny. Oh my god!
Breaker, we got a TikToker on the premises.
Take him out. Snipers at the ready.
Simplify!
The teachers, after searching up EWU meaning and not finding anything, assumed that this very well must be some very bad TikTok code word, and they call my mom. That leads us back to my mom calling me, furiously asking what EWU means. I finally figure out that she meant uwu, so I have to explain to her that, no, this is not some TikTok code word for wanting to hurt people, and yes, it's literally just a cutesy face. Like how one would use colon parentheses to make smiley faces. The teachers, still not believing what's going on, insisted on pulling him out of class and made him sit next to a police officer for the rest of the school day.
What are you in for?
With that being said, I now have to go up to the school on Monday and explain what uwu means to a group of angry teachers and school officials. TLDR, I taught my little brother the word uwu for fun, and he is now in serious trouble at school for saying bad, quote, TikTok code words to the kids on the playground. I now have to go up to the school and explain to angry school officials what uwu means. Top comment, top comment. I'll write your apology script for you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the school board. I am so sorry and apologetic for any anger and confusion I may have caused by introducing uwu to my brother. Oh, man. Yeah, be careful when you teach your kids internet lingo, because the adults won't understand. Christ. TikTok. Uwu is a TikTok code word for wanting to beat people up. That's a fucking new one on me. What are these kids learning these days? Fuck.
Alright. Just wanted to quickly go through and see if there's anything worth plucking from here as an Ask Reddit thread. Hotel staff of Reddit. What is the most NSFW moment you've witnessed at your hotel?
Oh no.
Night auditor here. I've seen a lot. Multiple times I've had guests come to my desk completely naked because they somehow locked themselves out naked. This one always confuses me. But probably the most NSFW was a guest who got violently ill. We're talking projectile vomit on every surface of the room, blood all over, feces, piss. Everything was just destroyed. Obvious call, paramedics, but I can never unsee what I've seen. I worked front desk at a luxury hotel. One night the elevator doors opened and a completely naked woman stumbled out, covered in blood. Turns out she was epileptic, had a seizure in the shower, fell, cut herself, exited a room, locked herself out. Truly terrifying 25 minutes of trying to piece together what had happened.
Jesus.
I sleepwalk a lot, so I travel a lot for work, and this is my fear. I bought a device off Amazon that you put under the bottom of the hotel room door that's meant to stop people from getting in, but it really just stops me from getting out. Oh, this is responding to the other one. Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little confused there.
I worked at a hotel in a resort town in Europe. One of the maids called me to a room to help because it had been the location of an extremely messy orgy from the touring ice show. Oh, those figure skaters, they get it on. I mean, you gotta be in peak fitness for ice skating, so. The room was covered in bodily secretions and excreta. There were used condoms just thrown everywhere, and half the furniture was busted. The poor maid was in tears thinking she'd have to clean it. The hotel management called in a professional cleaning company, wore disposable suits, respirators, and eye protection. They got rid of most of the stuff in the room and charged a fortune to the ice show. Someone responds, Disney on ice?
Oh, Jesus Christ, for the love of God.
Reddit's a lot today.
Tickets to Disney on Ice, please.
Hey, do you like backwards Disney movies? What?
Many years ago, I worked at a very nice casino resort as a valet. Regular pulled up in his nice BMW, went to help, wrote up his ticket, got his keys, offered to help load up his luggage on a bell cart while we waited for the bellman. Opened the trunk and went to lift the suitcase and just about threw my back out. Was not prepared for it to be so heavy. Gave it another go and heaved it onto the bell cart and heard a sound. Mister, did your suitcase just make an oof sound? So, long story short, a prostitute who was banned from the property was stowed away in there to get up to his room. That's crazy.
He's trying to smuggle bitches!
Smuggle bitches! Somebody responds, the craziest shit people have pulled on the regular to get their blacklisted buddies or blacklisted prostitutes into the room, and that was just working at my hometown local motel. Jesus, it was like some sort of video game nightmare of Spot the Impersonator. I had to know just who everyone and all potential relations to them were. Who was friends that week? Who was on that outs with each other? Who was dating who in the townie circle that week? Two cousins parking their vehicle weirdly close to each other. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Looks like one's back to dating the crazy pyro girl who lives under the interstate. Definitely sneaking onto the first floor room at that moment. The swapped ID with similar looking people in a hoodie trick. Looking at the floor and waiting for the new hire was on duty to walk in. I have legit seen a full-on wig once. When an acquaintance of a blacklist checked in, the next thing you know there's a blurred streak making mad dashes from car to room. Always peak trouble, that signal.
Oh, yeah. God, having to work at a hotel sounds like a crazy fucking experience.
I'm working night shift as a receptionist and had my fair share of questionable encounters. One night, a guy comes in from outside and asks if he could use our restroom, located one floor down. Every time we let someone in at night, we kind of scan the person before letting them in. I didn't get any crazy vibes from this dude, so about 25 minutes I get the feeling maybe everything wasn't okay, and I went downstairs. When approaching the bathrooms, I could hear him inside the handicap toilet and the door was open a bit. On his knees, pants down, masturbating, sucking on the door handle while watching porn on his phone. I yelled at him and asked what the hell he's doing, but couldn't get in contact with him, so I grabbed a towel and threw it over his face to break line of sight. I told him to leave immediately or I would call the police. Went upstairs. After a few minutes, he left the building. That one sticks out for me.
I can imagine why. Why was he sucking the doorknob?
Well, I think the better question is, why did he have to go there to suck the doorknob? Doesn't he have his own doorknobs to suck?
Yeah, what the hell?
Is he a knobless fool?
Is this why licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets?
Completely different meanings of the term cock knobbler, though.
I was a night auditor at Home to Suites several years back. Our usual extended stay clientele were traveling nurses, government contractors, out-of-town veterans getting something done at the VA hospital. But we had this one guy and girl on the first floor for a few weeks that were odd. Took us a bit to realize it was a hooker and her pimp, so some John would come to see her, and the guy who rented the room would come out to hang out in the lobby or go smoke in our fire pit. Manager was a bit clueless, took longer to figure it out, but once she did, she went and knocked on the door to ask them to leave. He only cracked the door so she couldn't see inside the room. He declined housekeeping for 2 straight weeks. Then she managed to see an office chair behind him that had 2 handguns and a huge Rambo knife on it, so she called the cops.
Jeez.
I came up later that day to pick up my check to find cops that surrounded the building. Turns out he barricaded himself in the room and held the prostitutes hostage. So SWAT had to come tear gas him through the window and use a battering ram to get inside. The owners fired our manager for that, letting the sex work go on for so long, and the optics of cops swarming our hotel. Must have been making crazy money to stay in a hotel for weeks straight.
Must have been. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Hotels are expensive. That shit adds up.
Oh yeah. So that was fun. But now it's time for the lightning round.
Oh yeah.
This is the lightning round where we go to our unpopular opinion, find some unpopular opinions. Do we agree? Do we disagree? Are these opinions unpopular or popular or stupid? Probably.
Stupid is very common, I've noticed.
Unpopular opinion. It is time to ask women about their weight.
Good luck with that.
You do that, sir. Congratulations. You do the best job you can. I'm not doing it.
Unpopular opinion. If you put down people for attending community college, you are scum. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Classism. It's everywhere. People need to stop acting like they can bring their dogs everywhere. We had a post like that.
We did. Ah, reminds me. Ooh.
Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: toothpaste tubes could be at least 5 times the size. I'd like to see that.
Just fucking grab this big ass long tube. I
agree. Toothpaste tubes could be 5 times the size. That might be better. I want to live in that world. Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: comedy movies aren't funny anymore. Well, that's because we peaked as a society at Sex Drive, Unrated, and Cream Filled.
I was waiting for that. No, it's just comedy movies. Have just.
I'm expecting them to get better now that Elon Musk has made comedy legal again.
I think the problem is that progressivism just limits how many jokes we can make.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem, is that a good comedy movie has a sense of edge to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, a good comedy routine, or, you know, jokes are there for us to relax about opening up to difficult topics. And we can't do that when everybody takes any mention whatsoever, positive or otherwise, of a difficult topic so goddamn seriously. So if you want to know a systemic reason, it's because people are taking shit way too fucking seriously, and we need to occasionally to have a good fucking laugh about it.
But it's okay. Elon Musk made comedy legal again, so they should be on the up and up soon.
Right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Daddy Elon.
Yeah.
No, seriously, watch Sex Drive Unrated. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you can't make jokes about religion. You can't make jokes. Like, have you guys if Eurotrip isn't on the fucking list, put it on the list.
Kevin, put Eurotrip on the list.
Putting Euro Trip on
If you
the
haven't seen
list.
that one, that movie makes fun. It makes fun of every cultural stereotype outside of the United States humanly possible. It makes jokes about religion. It makes jokes about drugs. It makes jokes about everything, and it's fucking hysterical cover to cover.
Hell yeah.
You can't make any of those jokes anymore. You can't
Mhm.
make jokes about religion unless it's like somebody being cynical about Christianity and little boys. Like, you can't make like any kind of joke about foreign cultures because it's culturally insensitive. You can't do any. That movie could never be made today. And I think that's the problem, is that people have just lost their ability to appreciate edge.
Yep.
Or to take serious things with a lighter heart. So yes, we have peaked. Thanks, progressivism. You fucking ruin everything. Surprising no one in the room.
Let's see here.
Honestly, if you believe Yahtzee Crawshaw is a society and
Unpopular.
then
Yeah.
like,
Unpopular opinion: rap lyrics should be used as evidence to sentence rappers for their crimes. No, that's
No.
a dangerous. That's a
No.
slippery slope. That I am
Nope.
falling. I am cascading down the mountain just reading that.
No, yeah. The thing about, like, sometimes, like, look, occasionally, like, I get where OP's trying to come from here, but rappers, like, they just say that they do shit in music because they think it makes them sound cooler. Like, that's just a thing. It's not permissible as evidence because it's, technically speaking, a piece of art and fiction. So
Yeah. And maybe it is real. Maybe they did shoot that bitch out back, but it's not proof of it.
yeah. So, like, no.
Dangerous rabbit hole. Don't
Don't do that.
Let's see here. This one might be a bit controversial.
we take
Unpopular-
this here.
Unpopular opinion: instant ramen tastes better than regular ramen. Everyone thinks I'm crazy for saying this.
You want to die, bitch?
Well, I'm over-exaggerating, but not everyone. Let me explain. I grew up in northern Japan. Plenty of ramen shops, not many. Always came with my dad to these shops. Every single one was shit, to be fair. I knew it was childhood and maybe it differs later. Going back to the same place, still shit, different places. Come to America. Plenty of stores sell instant ramen packs like Shin Ramen and Nissan. I buy, I try. Holy shit. The cycle of purchasing these weekly continues. Now, to compare the tastes here to some detail, regular ramen, wherever it would be, North or South Japan, America, Canada, always just tastes like old salt broth with freeze-dried noodles. Best part is like the pork on the side or the sugary drink you get with it, Kelpico or soda. Instant ramen, the noodles just taste slurpier and good. The broth is flavorful and vibrant. Most parts of it are good too. I know it's not fresh, but it does taste fresh. I was forced to go to like dozens of ramen shops across the world, and you know, they all taste the same. The formula for this type of ramen is rigged or something. I just sip on a soda while my dad slurpities on some spoons of broth. I may have went against my own culture by saying this, but it's the truth to me. I'll upvote for his bravery.
Yeah.
I downvote for his utter fucking lack of taste.
Yeah.
Like the level of depth of flavor, which is the objective way that we which is the objective way that we classify food, because it activates more neurons in the brain,
Yeah.
and therefore leads to a objectively more pleasurable experience for the consumer.
Yeah.
Go to a neurologist. There is something wrong with you. I'm not kidding. There is something actively wrong with you. If you believe that the garbage that is Nissan, it's tasty occasionally, it hits the plate, but it's a plate of shame, dude. Like, it's a plate full of fucking shame. If you're trying to tell me that is better than actual homemade ramen or homemade ramen from a shop, you're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
And there is something legitimately wrong with your brain.
That, or just by sheer coincidence, every single ramen shop you've been to has been a sham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, literally that. And
too.
I have been warned that there are some ramen shops that are much better than others, and there are some ramen shops that are shit.
Yeah.
But I would still prefer anything that touched a real pot.
I mean, it sounds to me like OP just likes the thinner and the more soft noodles, as well as just like the higher sodium content. Like, just it's saltier, so like it tastes more. So like, I think that's just like, I think that's all it is. It's just OP likes the softer noodles and the more salty broth, which I get that, but at the same time, you're missing a lot of complexity and depth of flavor that even for like mediocre restaurant ramen can still, you can still get quite a bit out of like mediocre restaurant ramen. Like it's like, come on.
Unpopular opinion. I liked Electro's design in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Me too. I really like it. I think
I liked his design. I liked his design really well. The only issue I had with Electro whatsoever was his story arc and his motivation to be a villain was just very bizarre and weak and unrelatable. You forgot my birthday.
There's a lot to read.
I'm gonna kill a bunch of people now. Oh, okay.
I think it's not the specific things. It's because it sounds dumb when you like laconically describe it that way. It's more about what it represents, and the people of society forgets about, or the outsider.
I feel like the trigger was very strange.
Well, the actual trigger is when the guy took the shot. It wasn't the birthday thing.
Yeah.
Because he, yeah. Anyway, but as far as the design goes, I really like the design. It's creative, and I honestly think classic Electro is fucking goofy. I do
find it interesting that they kind of split the difference for No Way Home by turning the electricity yellow, and when he actually uses his abilities, it like creates the.
I don't like that, and I don't like it for one simple reason. It's that they did it as a cost-cutting measure because they didn't want to do all the makeup they had to do.
Yeah, that's admittedly very true. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't see that decision as being creatively driven, and they even have to hackney some bullshit like, oh, the energy is just different in this universe.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's dumb, and it was done because Disney didn't want to pay for makeup.
Hey, remember that scene from Amazing Spider-Man 2 where like all of the CGI characters stayed in the van, so they didn't have to animate them for like half an hour?
I think you mean from No Way Home.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, from No Way Home. Excuse me.
Yeah. All the CGI characters, we just waited in the van, Let's have a conversation in your apartment, but only the non-CGI characters can show up.
God.
Yeah, that was the funniest shit to me. I was like, what the fuck?
I like that movie, but there's some things that are just so fucking cheap about it. I really like that when Lizard and Sandman get turned back, they're using like alternate cut stock footage from their respective films.
Yeah.
Just played in reverse. The Sandman one is especially funny because they're literally just playing an alternate cut of the end of the transformation sequence in reverse. It's so fucking kitschy. And the Lizard one is literally just an alternate cut of the end of the movie where he gets like de-lizardified and the scales are coming off or whatever. And it's literally just an alternate cut of that played over a different background.
God.
It's if you've watched those movies, it's so kitsch. It's so obvious they're reusing that footage. Anyway.
It's a good movie, but it's got weird bits.
Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: saying something is vintage does not make that object valuable. I agree.
True.
My friend.
Agree. People used to make old crap.
My friend has an unopened can of the Shaq soda in his room that he claims is vintage, and I'm like, it's not worth that much, dude.
It really isn't.
The Shaq soda.
You'll get like, I don't know, $10 off of that. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm gonna look that up, actually.
No, you don't understand. It'll appreciate in value. It probably won't. It wasn't even that popular to begin with.
The Shaq Arizona Blueberry Cream. That's an interesting flavor. $25 on eBay. Sealed.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe.
Oh, wait. No. Okay, no, that's his can. Okay, I saw one for $2, but that's can only.
Yeah.
Empty can, 99 cents. It seems like the sealed ones are going for about $25-ish, which is a
Yeah.
lot for soda, but for like a collectible.
Like Shaq's cool and all, no shade on the man, but at the same time, like he doesn't have the same cultural relevance like Ecto
Yeah.
Cooler did.
Yeah.
And to be fair though, I do want to try strawberry cream soda or blueberry cream soda. That sounds interesting.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the sound of it, yeah.
Yeah. You know, Shaq, I like the cut of his soda jib. Where was I? Oh, okay. Unpopular opinion: if you don't like the company, don't buy stuff from them. Oh, my friend,
boy, here we
that's where
fucking go.
monopolies come in. You ever try to buy printer ink?
Yep. We've said this before. There's only so much you can do with that kind of mindset, and at some point, you're just kind of inconveniencing yourself for
Dummy, dummy, dum dum. You're so dumb.
no real impact. Like, just do it.
Unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion. I hate when people say take the W or take the L. Well, you can take this L, Catholic Guy 77. Literal username.
He should take the L.
Unpopular opinion. Miley Cyrus is an amazing pop star and one of the greatest of her generation.
Well, she came in like a wrecking ball.
It's true. We can't deny that. That's a real fact. Unpopular opinion. I prefer to play Guitar Hero on the regular controller. You do you.
I knew friends that did that. They're like, it's so good, and I'm just like,
I'm sure it works fine enough, but you're kind of losing the fantasy of it.
Yeah, like the whole thing is that it's supposed to emulate playing guitar to a degree. So
It's like saying I like to play Jungle Beat without the bongos.
technically possible, but
You're missing the
certainly.
point.
Yeah, you're missing the fucking point, and I don't think you're getting as much out of the game.
Yep.
yeah, like there's a level of immersion there, and you're kind of missing it. Yeah.
Let's see here. No. What the fuck is...
Oh.
Well, that's not loading, so no, I'm not doing that.
Ah, fuck. Damn you, Reddit!
Yep. Yeah, okay, this is all bullshit. There's a lot of them. A lot of people have decided that cake is overrated, and I'm not on board for this.
Me neither.
I don't know why it's
Not
such,
either. Cake is delicious. It's
Yeah.
scrumptious. It's
Why is-
juicy. It's
why-
amazing.
why is this such a fucking talking point right now? Anyway, fuck that. This has been the Baka Gaijin show.
Yeah. We're done. Let's go.
We are
You cake
proud.
haters.
Yeah. Well,
Eat my
Baka
nuts.
Gaijin show, proud supporters of cake as a concept. If you want to be part of the show, you can email us at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com, join our official Discord server in the link provided below, or follow us on Twitter at ZekeFreak, at CCharmanderK, and at Saradin Sedranor. We'll be at you soon enough. Zeke Freak out. Ciao, ciao for now.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes you.